Ooh.
Ooh?
Ooh.
Ooh?
Yeah.
You've had those before.
I haven't had one in I haven't had one since the G1.
Okay.
So
Wasn't that long ago.
that was a couple weeks.
A couple weeks and you
Listen,
get an
man.
ooh?
Yeah. Ooh.
You get an ooh?
It's
out of it?
tasty.
All
Would
right.
you like a swig?
No, I'm good. I got my energy drink in a cup. I made from scratch from a powder.
Yeah.
And it tastes like Swedish fish.
I had Swedish fish gelati the other night.
From Rita's?
Yeah.
Delicious.
Dude,
I
so
remember when
good.
they debuted that flavor.
Right?
Yeah.
Swedish fish with vanilla custard. Mm-hmm. Just
It's the only way to go.
works. Yeah. Like somebody's like, oh, maybe you should try it with like chocolate. What are you,
No, get
nuts?
fucked.
Are you
Get outta here.
fucking mind?
Chocolate?
Dude.
Eat shit.
And like,
Chocolate gelato shouldn't even be allowed.
yeah, dude,
Bullshit.
vanilla custard.
Yeah,
it
vanilla
was
custard
so
all the way.
good. They had cotton candy custard there.
That's weird.
But I was like, that's going to be a
it's a little too
sweetness
much.
overload.
Yeah.
So we just went
You know, I stopped at the old T Hill the other day, the Turkey Hill.
Turkey Hill, yes.
The Turkey H, if you will.
Okay.
And because I've been on an icy kick. I'm on a slushy jam. Been riding my slushy train. And
you motherfucker, you.
I was going up for comics, and I was like, let me find me a Turkey Hill. I went to the Turkey Hill, and I did the cotton candy slushy
Okay.
half, and the other half I did the sour green apple.
How was that?
It's fucking delicious.
Yeah?
Even the guy behind the thing at the counter, that's what they're called, at Turkey Hill, was like, yo, that looks real good. And I'm like, I'm counting on it being real good. He's like, a lot of people come in here and make weird concoctions and mixes, but that one actually looks good. And I'm like, it's going to be good.
Is this like a universal pairing at a Turkey Hill I can do?
So Turkey Hill, if you go into Turkey Hill, they got all kinds of slushy flavors now. There's like 12 of them on the wall. And there's like a cola one, and it's like some soda brand. You can also get sodas in the same flavor. But there's like Purple Power, there's like Red Rage or some shit. And then there's like cotton candy, sour apple, whatever the hell else there is. And I really like the sour green apple, but I was like, oh, cotton candy, sour apple, cotton candy. That sounds fucking delicious.
I do frequent Turkey Hill probably once a week so I can get my chocolate milk.
There you go. Yeah, Turkey Hill's got a wall.
Okay. I see. I never venture over to that side of the
They
store.
got a wall of slushies.
I usually stick to the dairy ice cream side.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, a wall of slushies. And so I did that. And I may have also dripped some slushie on the floor and walked away without telling anybody.
You piece of
Well, because I do because I do the
dare
slushy
you.
grift. You know the slushy grift, right?
Yeah, you just take a little bit, sip
No,
it.
no, that's not my grift. I don't even know if it's a grift.
Oh,
I
did
don't
you put your mouth underneath?
I do, yes. I don't know if people.
You savage.
I didn't invent this, but like I don't imagine people do it so much anymore. I think it's been made a little more difficult because they've narrowed the hole in the dome, in the icy dome. You know, the dome that goes on the cup of the icy. Mm-hmm. So you fill the cup up all the way, then you put the dome on it, and then you line the hole up and you fill the dome up with the icy, right?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people do that anymore because they've shrunk the size of the hole in the dome. But I do that, but I overfill it, so it started to run down the sides of the dome a little bit while I was looking for candy, because I also wanted candy to go with my icy.
Of course.
I was having a bad day.
Naturally.
And, so I dripped some sour apple icy on the floor, because I didn't know what was happening until my hand felt wet, and I was like, what's happening? And then my hand was sticky, and then I had to take a sip out or two, just to level it off, but I didn't tell
Now,
anybody.
did you layer your icy?
I go half and then half.
Okay, you didn't go like quarter.
I don't have the patience for that shit.
Right, okay.
No. Because here's the thing.
I'm asking the hard hitting questions.
Welcome to We Need Wrestling, everybody. Here's the thing. Here's what you do though. See, if the velocity of the slushy machines are also much more intense than they used to be,
and the angle of the dangle,
right? The angle of the dangle,
of course.
So if you fill it half of the way with the first flavor, if you really hammer that down on the slushy machine,
it's gonna explode.
It like plunges down in the middle and sort of mixes it up. You know what I mean?
I haven't made my own slushy in a long time.
Right, and then it'll sort of like come up, and the top of it will look like that second color, but then like the middle is filled all the way to the bottom with the secondary slush flavor. It's very interesting slush strategy.
Well, I'm officially on vacation now.
Well, you got to hit up a Turkey Hill. You got to run the gamut.
I may have to hit the T Hill.
The gamut. The guy at the Turkey H told me that the cola is real good, but it doesn't quite have the bite of a Coke.
Dude, yeah, because Coca-Cola is superior.
Right, but it's an icy, so like, I think I can deal with that. So maybe I'll do like a cotton candy cola next time I'm in there, or something. Play with some flavors. But yeah, I'm riding the icy train real hard. The slushy icy. Is there a difference? Is there a difference between a slushy and an icy?
Branding.
Okay. Because like if you get a slush puppy, they're chunkier. You know what I mean? They're like the ice is like little ice crystals in it.
Yeah.
And like a slushy's
and
smooth.
that's like not as like carbonated.
Right. Yeah.
Like a icy.
Yeah.
Is like
right. It's like smoother, like almost like you're drinking a cloud.
Yeah. Drinking a cloud.
Yeah. But I'm fine with either. They're a very particularly wonderful treat for me. I really like them, and also the only thing that gives me cold headaches.
Cold headaches, huh?
Cold headaches. The only thing I can get a cold headache from is an
freeze?
icy. Yes, cold headache. Same difference. Same thing. You never called it a cold headache?
No, I call it brain freeze.
Oh, well, same difference. That's like the icy versus slushy of brain hurts.
Little tomato, little
head
tomato.
Hurts.
All right. I mean, either way works.
Cold headache, brain freeze.
Head hurts. I think you might have bumped your fucking head the way you're talking about.
But yeah, that's the only thing. Like I can power ice cream. I can do all this stuff. But a slushy, if I drink that shit too fast, boom, cold headache.
Okay.
Yeah. Or brain freeze, depending on who you are.
Yeah, my outlandish take of brain freeze. Well, they're both
the same. I just, But yeah, been riding that icy train. Been jamming those ices real hard.
They are delicious.
Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going to make it my regular thing on Wednesdays or Tuesdays or Wednesdays when I go up for comics. I'm going to swing off the highway to the T Hill, the Turkey H. And then I'm going to get an icy, and I'm going to go for my comics. I think that's what I'm going to do from now on. Nice little treat.
Treating yourself.
A little treat myself,
That's good. You should treat yourself.
Sheets also has some good slushies. But Sheets of slushies have the little ice crystals in them. They're not as fluffy.
Okay.
But Sheets got lots of flavor. They're not fluffy.
They're rocky.
But Sheets got lots of flavors. But they don't have that carbonation. You know what I mean?
I never go out of my way to get a slushie.
Yeah, you should start. They're wonderful.
The only time I get is when at Cinemark.
Right, but they only get like 3 flavors there. They're not as
man, that blue raspberry.
The blue raspberry is great. I think a blue raspberry Turkey Hill. You can mix all that in there.
You're convincing me.
I'm telling you, man, it's a delicious thing. And they're like $1.30 or something still for a big cup, or
that's
$2 or something.
Refreshing treat.
Right, and you're just riding around. You got a slushie in your car.
Riding around drinking slushies.
Enjoying yourself. It's just a perfect way to enjoy life.
I respect it.
Right, you just don't let it spill on your hand because then it gets sticky. It's tough. You don't want to be sticky.
What is going?
You don't want to be. You want to be sticky. You like being sticky from drinking a slushie.
It turned into slushy talk.
Right. Well, we need slushies. That's what it is.
I do indeed.
We slushy wrestling.
I don't know what that means. That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. Let's strike that from the record.
You want to start a slush fund?
Okay, I don't know. That's just money for slushies. I don't think it is, though. I think slush fund means something else.
It could mean money for slushies if you wanted that to mean it.
All right, I'm going to start a cup at the house. Michelle's be like, why is there all this money in here? I'm like, that's our slush fund.
Yeah.
She's like, what am I for slushies?
Sushi fund, slush fund.
Slushy fund.
Yeah.
Slushy. It's for
sushi.
Slushy. It's for sushi flavored slushies.
What about slushy flavored sushi?
I'd probably be better with that one.
Oh, you don't want to drink slushy your sushi?
I don't think I want to drink a shrimp tempura icy drink.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather eat cotton candy wrapped in seaweed than I would drink spicy tuna slushy.
Both sound. I mean, I do like spicy tuna. Those both sound equally disgusting.
No, I think I'd rather eat seaweed wrapped cotton candy.
Ew, dude. What the fuck? Ew. You're a freak.
How am I a freak? You wanna freeze salmon, blend it into a smooth,
I didn't
delicious
say I'd
thing?
enjoy it.
but that's your preference. You said.
Sure. All right.
All right.
God damn it.
Welcome to We Need Wrestling, everybody.
Getting my fucking. I just had my toe licked by a dog. And
Sorry
it freaked
about
me
that.
out.
That was me. I very quickly went under the table.
What the fuck is happening?
I'm tired. My allergies are bothering me, so apparently I'm punchy. But welcome to We Need Wrestling. I'm DJ. That's Brett. How are you,
Why are
pal?
you so tired?
I don't know.
Wake up.
I don't know, because I went to bed pretty early last night. Early, like 12:30.
That's early for you.
Yeah, early for me. And then I woke up like 9:30-ish. So, like, that's a lot of sleep.
Jesus, yeah, it's a lot of
And
sleep.
then I took a nap at like 2 o'clock.
Are your fucking iron levels low?
I don't know.
You're getting real tired?
I'm always tired.
That's your secret?
So me and Zach Ryder have a
Good.
common.
Oh, God. I mean, I'm good.
I'm always unready.
I'm good. I'm on vacation officially.
Good. Like it?
AKA my staycation.
Yeah.
AKA I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want.
You're not going anywhere?
No.
You should.
Where am I going to go?
I don't know. Go somewhere, treat yourself. Go somewhere, go to a hotel room with one of those martini glass bathtubs.
I was going to say hotel room
By
with
yourself?
something else. No, dude, I don't know.
Just go and enjoy your time alone in a martini-shaped bathtub
I enjoy my time
covered in
all the
foam.
time.
Yeah, but you don't have a martini-shaped bathtub at your house.
When's the last time you were in my house?
That's true. Oh my god, that's apparently it's been too long if you're holding out a martini-shaped bathtub for me.
Hey.
Would that be weird to take a bath at someone else's house unannounced?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I kind of feel like,
Shower's okay.
right, like if somebody like crashes here, I get it, or crashes at your house, like, hey, all right, if I hop in the shower, yeah, no
of
problem.
course, but a
if
bath?
like you show up at a friend's house and you're like, you mind if I take a bubble bath real quick?
Like Doug's use your showers, use my
Yeah, that's
shower.
what it is.
But like
But I don't have a bath. We just have the shower here. But like, it's like if
bath.
I just like showed up and was like, hey, mind if I
mind if I catch a soak
I was
real
like, yeah,
quick?
right. I was gonna take a bubble bath. You okay with that?
I'd say, what?
Yeah.
I'd say no.
It's a weird
I don't
one.
think I am.
It's a weird, but it's not any different than a shower necessarily. I mean, it is fun. I guess like technique, but
You're
like
leaving your. I don't know.
you're still cleaning yourself.
I feel like you're leaving a piece of yourself in there.
Well,
down
yeah.
the drain, brother.
I guess so. I don't know. I'm gonna try. Let's try it. Let's show up. Let's just
Don't take a bath at my house, please.
during your vacation. Just show up at somebody you know's house randomly. Be like, I take a bubble bath. You can't come here because I don't have a bathtub. So just show up with
Maybe I'll
like
drive down to Doug's.
with like a bottle of Mr. Bubble.
Yeah, like, hey man, you mind if I hit a bath real quick?
Right, just completely unannounced. Like sit in front of his house till he gets off of work, and when he walks in, walk behind and be like, just gonna hop in the bathtub. real
Dude, I gotta hit a bath real quick. Sorry. Oh God, nobody take a bath in my house but me, please.
Email the show at We Need Wrestling
Yeah.
if you want to take a bath at Brett's house.
Please don't.
WeNeedWrestling@gmail.com.
Fucking sick freaks. I'm good. I had an eventful.
The jingle for bath fitters is now stuck in my head.
Ew. I've had an eventful week.
You have?
But I'm good.
Yes.
Sitting in a smoke-filled bar the other night did not do good for me.
No? What happened?
I could like
You're ripping the heaters?
No, I could feel it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like I felt it. Like when you left my house, I felt like as soon as I went upstairs, I was like
really?
already my chest.
My lungs are already garbage. They can't get much worse.
Yeah, I was like, oh hey, I forgot. Like I did have asthma.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I guess it goes away, right? It
That's what they told me when I was a kid,
can
but I think they're
subside.
fucking liars.
Yeah, because like I was sitting in my house and like
Yeah.
oh man, I just feel it. You know, it felt like tight.
Yeah.
I feel like fine now, but I was just whoa, that feels gross.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably at the state where I should probably see a doctor about like my lung capacity and how like I wheeze pretty much all the time.
You should probably see a doctor.
But no, because if I see a doctor, that's
where they tell you all the
that's
bad
where they
stuff.
tell me all the bad stuff. Right now, nothing wrong with me. If I go to a doctor, they're going to find a minimum of a baker's dozen of things.
Jesus Christ. Give you the whole rundown.
The whole rundown. And like right now, I just like, I got a bad back. That's the only thing wrong with me.
Yeah.
If I go to a doctor, they're going to be like, well, your knees are all cartilage and your heart's no good and your lungs stink and your joints are a mess.
And you're a piece of shit.
Right. Yeah. So you're a burden to your family.
Oh, Jesus. That's a little much. Yeah. Other than like my weird week, we're good.
All right. Good.
How are you?
I'm okay.
What's up with you?
I'm still in a bit of a state of mourning.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's what it is, but I'm still sort of, I think because this week I finally got around to listening to, not all, but a bunch of the podcasts about Terry. Yeah. So like hearing that sort of has kept me in that sort of mindset. And there's always something new coming out. That great Moxley article for Sports Illustrated today.
Oh, so good.
And, it didn't necessarily bum me out because they are a lot of really great stories. But I still just sort of have that. Like I said, I told you I watched Barely Legal this week.
Sure.
Probably going to watch more this weekend and next week. Like I think starting with Barely Legal, I want to watch Terry's title stuff. What he does from there.
You should.
Because that's all cool stuff. And I also realized something this week watching that stuff and thinking about Terry Funk in my life. And I was, everybody knows the famous scale that's better than the Meltzer scale, the Dude scale.
Of course.
Just plus 3 stars for a roll up. And then I realized that I don't know, subconsciously or just sort of affected my brain in such a way at a young age that scale occurred to me naturally. But Terry Funk wins both the NWA title in 1975 and the ECW title at Barely Legal with a roll up.
Terry knew.
So it was not purposeful on my part when I created the Dude scale. The Dude scale was created as an alternative to the bullshit scale that Meltzer uses. But roll-ups have been a large part of it since the beginning, and I'm going to say that Terry Funk affected my life in that way.
Good. I'm glad he did.
But so that's sort of where I'm at. Everything's fine otherwise. An uneventful week of just working and whatever. Had my vacation last weekend, right? That feels forever ago, but
it was already a week ago.
And then got home and everybody was here for the Pape.
Yeah.
Everybody's coming over for the Pape again. Not
yes.
Everybody. Some of you are banned, but I'll let them figure it out. You know who you are. But yeah. So like I didn't watch a ton of wrestling this week because I was out. But I did catch up a little bit. But not a ton because I was locked in the woods for the weekend, and the weekend is one of my best opportunities to watch a lot of wrestling. And then this week I sort of took me 2 nights to get through Barely Legal because I did watch all of it because it's a great show.
Yeah, it's historic, that's for sure.
And so that's where I'm at. I'm still sort of in that mindset, just kind of thinking about Terry. Trying to get as much Terry as I can in me because I like hearing the stories, and I'm hearing new shit that I hadn't heard before.
Brucey's was great.
Brucey's was awesome.
Yeah.
Mix was very good. Mix like a little more heart, a little more somber. Mix was.
Yeah.
Not that Mick wasn't happy and like had tell good stories, but you can just hear it in Mick though a little bit. And Brucey was a little more celebratory and sort of like this is my hero and this is the times we had together. So Bruce told some good stories. I had no idea that Terry effectively ended Shotgun Saturday Night. Sure did. Which is hilarious. You Yankee bastard. And then
Gil, your mother's a whore.
Your mother's a whore. And then the stuff out of Moxie's article today was very funny. Just him just constantly getting over on people because don't tell Terry Funk what to do.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
That's like Moxie said at the end of it. He's the greatest of all fucking time.
Absolutely. And it's cool to see people saying that because I've been saying it forever. And, he is just such a different... Can we, obviously we talked about him a whole bunch last week.
Sure.
So, but just hearing these stories even that I hadn't heard before really does sort of paint how different of a wrestling career he had. That like he didn't stay anywhere because he just did everything he wanted in his own way. But everybody would welcome him back with open arms because they knew how valuable he was for a very long time. It's really, really cool. But yeah, that's been my week, pal.
Good.
So my allergies are kicking my ass right now. I did take an allergy
pill.
pill.
You're getting fucked up.
I am. I got a little bit of the sniffles there. My eyes are a little watery.
Your eyes are just a little too big.
My eyes a little too big. My belly's a little too big. But yeah, I took an allergy pill, so hopefully it'll clear up. But
since we just talked about him before we really get into anything,
okay,
is this where you want to put the Terry Funk moment of the week?
I didn't know where we would put it, but we will put it. We'll put it somewhere. I just gotta. We're gonna cut and play it, and then
sure.
Okay,
and then we'll be back.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen history in the making here this afternoon in Nashville. For the 6th time, I want to present, ladies and gentlemen, number 6, the heavyweight champion of the world, Nature Boy Ric Flair. I think also we have to give credit where credit is due. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Ric Flair both competed in one of the greatest matches that any of us, I think, have ever witnessed. Champ, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Not in character for Ric Flair, but Rick Steamboat is the greatest champion I've ever faced. And I'm proud to be here for a 6th time.
Hey, Rick. I want to be the first to congratulate you on being the new world's champion.
Terry, thank you very much. We do appreciate the judges being here.
Hey, Rick, I also want to say that if it would have gone 60 minutes, that I would have liked to have, I would have voted for Ric Flair, because I think that you're the greatest wrestler in the world today.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Terry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Terry.
You know, champ, it went past 35, 40 minutes. It was nip and tuck both.
You know, I would also like to go ahead, and I'd also like to go ahead and be the first one to challenge Ric Flair to that new championship.
Well,
Terry, I'm honored that you'd like to get in the picture, but as the wrestling fans know, you've been an active, you've been in Hollywood, Sylvester Stallone, while I've been being the world champion. And we got a top 10. We got a top 10 that the world champion is obligated to wrestle. And that's why we are number 1.
Wait a minute, Rick. Wait a minute. Are you really saying that I'm not a contender?
No, what I'm saying, Terry, is that you are a great wrestler, but right now you're rubbing shoulders with Sylvester Stallone and not the world champion.
No. I was just asking, do you think that I'm not good enough? You're saying that I'm not good enough, aren't you, Rick?
I'm not saying that at all, Terry.
Yes, you are.
If you want me to look you in the eye and tell you that I got a problem with wrestling a guy that's been out in Hollywood for 5 years, it's the bottom line, but I'm looking at the top 10, and you're not in the top 10.
No, Rick, hold it.
Let me conclude this by saying thank you. I'm honored, everybody. Win, lose, or draw, Ric Flair.
Rick, please let me just say one more thing. I was just kidding you about going ahead and wanting to challenge you. I didn't want to really challenge you. I was just kidding you. So, dadgummit, let's go ahead.
That was beef. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Hey! Terry Funk attacking Nature Boy Ric Flair. This is totally uncalled for. He's taking him outside the rail. Terry Funk is a man enraged, hammering Flair on the outside, out there in the front row of ringside. Flair in his moment of glory, winning the championship for the 6th time. I cannot believe what we're witnessing here. Here as Terry Funk snapped.
Jim, and after the champion had already wrestled a match and had already won, he's attacked like this. A sneak attack by Funk.
He just slammed him face first into the table that the judges were using. Flair has just wrestled almost 40 minutes. He's fatigued. And look at Funk slap him in the face. This was Flair's moment. Oh my God! What? He's not going to pound drive him on the table. No! He's got him up. Oh God! Flair! His neck just jammed out of his spine. Terry Funk has gone crazy. Funk has gone crazy. He pile drove him right on the table. He's turning the table over on him.
Look at the horse tooth, banana nose jerk.
And the wild man, Terry Funk, who went absolutely berserk, Jim, into the ring when you were having, I thought, was a decent conversation between the two. The guy went completely berserk. He's mad.
I have never seen, this man's crazy.
Yep.
This man is absolutely crazy. But the most important thing right now, I don't care about Terry Funk. I care about the heavyweight champion of the world.
All right, and we're back. That was the Terry Funk moment of the week.
Well, you don't think I'm good enough, Flair?
Right. It is such a wonderful promo that it's really fun and great, and talked about a lot on everything about Terry this week. It is also the 40th anniversary of the Forever promo, which we played last week.
Yes.
I think you'll be hearing more about that over at Odds with Wrestling this week.
Yes, I would love a full breakdown.
Yes. But this, when he turns on Flair, again, my favorite feud of all time, one of the most believable wrestling feuds of all time, and just a remarkable piece of almost a year-long business.
Yeah.
But that thing, Flair comes out of that promo, starts that promo as a heel, right? It's at the end of the trilogy with Steamboat. Flair's the bad guy. Flair wins that match, and that Terry Funk promo turns Flair babyface.
It's just
instantly.
so insane.
It's nuts. And then at the end, and then by the time that whole program is over in the end of '89, Funk re-retires as a babyface.
Yeah, dude.
It's remarkable.
You know, I've talked about, not just last week, we've talked about it in the past before. That I can't even call it a promo, that segment, I guess.
Yeah. Sure.
When he lands that left hand, it just like,
Yeah.
whoa, and just the beat down.
Terry's a judge for the setup for the whole thing. He's the judge for the match.
Yeah.
Because they don't want it, they have to have a winner. And just Terry in the tux, and he's like,
so incredible.
You don't think I'm good enough, Flair? And Flair's like, you've been out filming movies, Terry. And, you know, you've been out playing with your Hollywood buddies.
I was just pulling your leg, Flair. I don't really want to have a match. Boom!
Right.
Oh, it's so amazing.
It's great.
Yeah.
The pile driver through the table, everybody talks about.
Keep celebrating Terry.
Right. And that whole feud is going to come up a whole bunch on these Terry Funk moment of the weeks.
Sure will.
But that's the start of something that is really, really remarkable. An interesting thing, too, that I learned this week with Terry about from Mick and Bruce, like about Terry's physique, why he got in that good a shape, is that I think it was Mick that said it, like delved in a little bit more. But apparently in the mid-'80s, Terry was having some sort of nerve issues and couldn't work out the way he wanted to. So by the time '89 came around, either that was worked out or he had a little bit of help. And he got to be in that kind of shape. Little assistance. And sort of about, even when he's in Paradise Alley in the 70s where he looks more like a power lifter kind of thing. And then the thing about him flying where he would kneel on the seat. I've heard that he would stand for the flights. That's what I had heard in past. So Brucey and Mick kind of said that he would kneel in front of the seat and lean his arms on the seat to relieve that back pain, which I get. Like when my back goes out, that would be a very comfortable position for me. I had previously heard that he would stand, like he would sit for takeoff and for landing, and in between that, he would stand the whole flight.
That's so brutal.
It's nuts.
Man,
it's absolutely crazy. So
God damn.
But a legend. Two legends, arguably one of Flair's best, if not Flair's best, long-term program.
I feel like we'll say this every week, but I fucking love Terry Funk.
Yes. That's why we're going to keep doing these, because Terry is the actual best.
Yeah.
And, just the most believable wild man in professional wrestling, with a ton of stories and a bunch of different eras. And a lot of people keep saying about him that he has two different careers, and I'll argue three.
I go with the three.
I'll say three because he is white meat babyface in Japan in the 70s, NWA champion, and 70s and the 80s in Japan, babyface. 80s comeback, even like mid 80s, like WWF heel through the WCW heel, and then you get into the 90s, and that's like, so it's NWA in Japan when he's like shorty tights, Terry Funk, short hair. Then you have longer haired cowboy, like mean tobacco spitting cowboy throughout the 80s into the 90s with like the stud stable and all that. And then you have ECW and beyond.
Yeah.
And I think those are three distinct enough. And Brucey really talked about that, how much he was like this just baby face sort of sympathy wrestler in Japan, where he'd get the shit kicked out of him, but the country would root for him. Yep. But then when he would come over here, he was just literally a mean fucking cowboy.
I went back really and I listened to Cabana's interview with him from like, I don't know, 2016 maybe.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get around all that.
It's so good, you know, and it's so funny when he brings up what is it, the Great Texan album?
Yes,
and Terry's
his
like
vanity album.
Terry's like, you have that, and he goes, oh bullshit. He goes, no, it sucked, it's terrible. Yeah. And Colt's like, I have it on my wall. And then they talk about like the deathmatch stuff, and you know, Cabana asks him, why did you start doing that? Is it because it was hot or whatever? Terry goes, God damn it, I made it hot. I made it the best thing in the business. Right. I was driving to the grocery store. Just fuck yeah, Terry.
The other thing too, that in Mick's podcast where he talks about wanting to do the empty arena match with The Rock.
Amazing.
And he said that he has WWE send the tape to The Rock, and The Rock calls him and is like, Mick, we can't do this. This match is the shits. And Mick's like, what do you mean? Yeah. And he watches it back. He's like, oh no, this match is the shits.
And then he brings it up to Terry.
Terry's like, that's one of the worst things I've ever done.
Yeah, please don't do that, Mick. Please, Mick. Yeah. And I like how when he talked to his daughter, and when she picked up the phone, she said, hey, Cactus. Yeah. And she's like, oh no, I'm sorry. It's just like, no, please keep calling me Cactus.
The time Terry tried to call me Mick like 3 times, and it always felt weird.
Call him Cactus.
But yeah, a lot of great stories. So seek all that stuff out. Not that this is going to become the Terry Funk podcast, but I wouldn't mind. I would mind. There will come a day where we have I just have to really do it. For myself and for Terry, I'm going to do it right and really research and really lay out and do some sort of long form podcast about him. It's hard because the other thing everybody talks about is that the beginning of his career is widely not available. Yeah. Because it's the 60s and they were taping over stuff. Even his NWA title match where he wins was hard to find for a very long time. Yeah. So either it's going to be sort of a year by year retrospective or decade by decade, and like that way, like the 70s are a little longer, the 80s are a little longer.
Split it up to like 5-year intervals.
It was like something like that, or even just do the 80s and just have the Terry Funk in the 80s, part 1 through 19, and Terry Funk in the 60s, part 1, and just that sort of stuff. But I want to do it right. I want to make sure my information's right, and it's researched properly, and. So that is coming. I have no idea when.
I'd say don't put a timestamp.
There's no timestamp. Probably, in a year's time, I'll be like, it's going to happen.
It will happen eventually.
It will happen. It is a goal and a dream of mine to do an actual thing, and I would love to be able to set up with people who knew Terry and just to talk a little bit. But we'll see how that happens. But he was the best, and we're going to keep talking about him in these little ways. I'm clipping our little tribute from last week out for YouTube to put up there as little clips. And so we're going to try it. We're going to do what we can. Sort of us and Joe talked about it from At Odds with Wrestling, trying to keep as much of Terry alive as we can. And I know the rest of the world is too. There was a big Terry Tuesday this week. So hopefully that keeps going. But
I agree.
He is a legend, and one of the true pioneers and one of the great men of professional wrestling. So
yes.
What else do we have to talk about other than Terry Funk?
I'd rather just talk about Terry Funk.
I would rather talk about Terry Funk as well.
I don't have anything written in news. I'm sure we'll fucking get into it later.
Oh, you want? Yeah, we'll talk about that. We can talk about that later. That's fine.
God damn over it.
Yeah, me too. So I don't even want to dwell too much on it, but we'll talk. We'll come up on it when it comes up.
Yeah.
I've pre-Googled pro wrestling news.
Okay.
Pro wrestling news. There you go. Jon Moxley believes Terry Funk would be with AEW if still wrestling. Yeah, that's not news. Let's see. Nick Patrick talks about his life on the road as a referee in pro wrestling.
Okay.
The picture is NWO referee Nick Patrick, which I like. From the Sportster, 10 basic pro wrestling moves that can still cause serious injury. You ready for the list?
I don't hate that.
All right, number 10, suplex. Or suplex.
The suplex.
And they use Big E as an example. That's weird.
That's sad.
The DDT.
Of course.
The baseball slide, which is interesting because the picture they show is Rey Mysterio's where he does it front first. Baseball slide is typically the kick, you know. The body slam, because you know that Andre the Giant dies.
Yes.
Afterwards, a power bomb with a picture of Big Dave's power bomb. And it mentioned draws at the end. Said who had to retire from wrestling. Like, that's an understatement. The super kick with a picture of Bill Goldberg and Bret Hart. Not a super kick.
Who wrote this piece of shit article?
Maybe more of a stupor kick, but not necessarily super kick. The suicide dive with a picture of Darby Allin right before he ate that the Judas Effect.
Oh boy,
from Jericho. The pile driver with a picture of Ty Conti and I don't know who that is. Maybe Ruby.
I miss when Ty Conti used to be a killer.
Yep. I was mentioning Stone Cold Steve Austin's neck injury. The lariat with a picture of Hangman Page. I don't know if that's right.
Stan Hansen.
And the number one is a slap.
Which slap would kill you.
Yep. Victoria broke Beth Phoenix's jaw with a slap during a match in June 5th of 2006.
What's his face? Nakajima knocked out Tetsuya Endo with a slap.
That's true. So this was written by Robert Perez. That is a Robert with an H at the end of it.
Sure.
From the Sportster. So that's a weird list. We won't talk about that. We won't. Top New Japan stars not expected for Wrestle Dream.
Yeah, we'll talk about
That's
that.
fine. CM Punk receives CAC's highest honor. Eric Bischoff thinks Jon Moxley undervalues himself. Okay.
Wow, Bischoff take I agree with.
Right. Should I go into it? That'll be all right. That's it for wrestling. Wrestling news, pro wrestling news on Google. It's the end of that.
Yes. So
where are we headed?
We'll go with shit that was watched.
Shit that was watched. I like that segment.
Yes.
I like that as a name for a segment.
Shit that was watched. I did watch SmackDown live on Friday. I wanted to see what they did for both Terry.
There was a lot of rumor that they were
Bray.
going to shit can everything and just have it be the Bray sort of show.
You know, and I know we had a conversation here Sunday with everybody about how like WWE doesn't remember how to do a tribute show because they haven't had to do one since Eddie passed.
Is that true?
Well, Benoit.
Yeah, right. Okay, but I would even say that's true too.
Yeah, Eddie.
Wow,
he's the last one.
Well, and here's the thing: is that the reason why is because they got bit pretty hard on that one.
Well,
and not that anybody was expecting anything out of Bray. I'm not insinuating that. I'm just insinuating that like the company as a whole is kind of like.
I do wish people would have,
keep these in rotation.
Waited until they found out all the facts about Bray before they made their opinion public.
Yep.
That's just me. But so I watched it, and it was I at the end of it I felt not like let down, but just I wanted more.
Right.
I just felt like it should have been a full blown tribute show.
But I mean, the guy active on the roster, like that is sort of where it compares to Eddie.
Yeah, it's an active roster guy, and
one of your biggest stars
lot of his peers
the last 10 years.
Yeah,
when did Husky Harris.
2013 is when Wyatt Family debuted on Raw.
Yeah, okay,
so that's 10 years already.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, there's a lot of good tributes that came out. You know, Seth Rollins put out a very like touching tribute. They put out the video today of a bunch of people talking backstage about, you know, Bray.
Yeah.
It was, you know, I don't know. It just felt like, and I almost feel selfish saying this, but like I said, I felt like I wanted more out of it. You know, it was nice that they did both Terry and Bray. I think you had to do both.
Sure.
You know, Cody cut a promo, or not really a promo. Cody came out to talk about Terry. They had the Terry Funk Hardcore match, which had a table.
I forgot you told me about that. That's insane.
They showed some Wyatt family clips throughout the show. They had, you know, everybody out for the 10-bell salute and everything. At the end of the show, after LA Knight beat Finn Balor, which I thought was nice. It was, you know, Bray's last feud again, and then Finn, who wrestled Bray a ton. You know, the lights like went down. They put up a picture of Bray.
Weren't they supposed to do like the Fiend versus the Demon?
It was supposed to be Sister Abigail versus the Demon. Right. But they put up like the picture of Bray like in the ring, and his logo was up on the Tron. It was just an old picture, and it was cool. His logo was like the butterfly, and the wings were out of the back, just the way the picture was, so it looked like he had the wings, which was real nice. And had the lantern in the middle of the ring and stuff. But I don't know, if it's me being cynical, I apologize, but it does. I just felt like it could have been more. You know, I've been meaning to have that conversation with you. Out of this podcast, you're really the cynic. You're the cynical one, and it's getting a little overboard. I apologize. I think you need to rein it in. I think you need to be the more positive person, because I'm over here with my PMA all the time, and you're just a miserable pile of just crap. I've been told that before. Yeah, have you? No. Yeah, never actually. Let me break out my list. But yeah, that's I get it though. That's a little. Maybe not upsetting, but like, you would think they would do more for someone who was so important to them. You know, like Rey Mysterio had the armband on with with Funk and Bray's initials on it, which was nice. Bailey had the armband. Zelina Vega did, but like nobody else did. Which I thought was kind of weird. Well, and like FTR and stuff did at the Pape. So that's it's just I don't know, and I hate to like compare tribute shows to tribute shows. Sure. But that Brody tribute show was just the perfect celebration of him. And I guess like I want that to be for Bray too. Right. But it's okay. Not my fight, you know. It was nice. It was a nice show. I'll give it like a 7 out of 10 if you had to put a fucking number on it, but that was a tough week for everybody, you know. Yeah, for sure. Like Gallows in his little sit down said to Bray, he goes, you know, give Brody and the Funker a hug for us. And that got me a little bit. Right. We're going to bounce around a little bit, I guess. Did we get the Todd Roker favorite action figures in the heaven picture out of anybody? Nobody did that for them? No, nobody did that. Okay. Interesting. Which, there was a picture where it was Bray, his action figure approaching a door. Okay. And it was Brody's action figure there, like with his arms out to like hug him with like a light in the background. It's like, it just feels weird. It's crazy. If you were to say 5 years ago that like both when watching the Wyatt family and be like the two main dudes, the two best dudes in this thing aren't going to be around come 5 years. It is wild. It was nice that, you know, Braun Strowman was there. Yeah. Because he's out with a neck injury right now. I also heard Raquel Gonzalez dumped his ass, so that's... Oh, boy. Eric Rowan was there. Oh, they brought Redbeard in? Yeah, which was real nice. Yeah, that's nice. You know. That dude, that must suck for that dude, though, because like, he only gets bookings when his friends pass, and it stinks. Yeah, it's sad. LA Knight kind of very... Yeah. Sorry. He spoke very, like, kept it, you know, in character, but you could tell he was kind of getting choked up a little bit, which was touching a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, there was that, and it was just sad. But we're gonna bounce around a little bit here, pal. Sure. Whatever you want. We're gonna leave the heavy stuff at the end, I guess. Okay. For AEW. Okay. And their big week. So after AEW All In happened on Sunday, we recorded an episode of Viewer's Choice with our friend Tim. Yes. That's on North South Connection. Go listen to that. I know it's on all the socials at TNM Shows or TNM Sports. But we were hanging out. I don't even know how the fuck we started. I think we were scrolling through YouTube and because we were watching Terry stuff. Yeah. And I saw a live pre-show for NWA 75. I said, the fuck is that? You go, I don't know, let's watch it.
Right.
Said,
this was post everything.
Yeah, I said, okay. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah. It was.
From what we saw of that show, hey, Billy Corgan, saying your company's ready to be number 2.
Well, you know what? It was a success.
It certainly resembled a number 2.
Congratulations, you are certainly a number 2.
I don't know who this wrestling
that
is
show
for.
number 2'd all over professional wrestling.
Who is this for?
Billy Corgan himself.
Michelle saw it and she was making fun of it and saying that this is at like the Hilton ballroom or whatever.
I've seen wrestling in hotel ballrooms before.
This was like
just not the 75th anniversary of like arguably the most prestigious wrestling company in the history
with
of
a lot of empty
wrestling.
chairs too as well.
Well, there were fans dressed as chairs, yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't even remember specifics of what we saw because we were actually back and forth between this and Impact Emergence.
Because whenever I got pissed off at something, I would switch to the other show. And like NWA, we didn't see the matches, but like Max the Impaler won the women's TV title and becomes the first non-binary person to hold an NWA title. So congratulations to them. Max rules. Excited to see Max at LVAC coming up. Gonna get that Mark picture this time because I didn't the last time when they almost killed Dan Champion in arguably my favorite LVAC match of all time. I didn't because I was pissing blood at the time. Well, you were. That's true. Unrelated to anything that happened in wrestling. Yeah. But I would say get me the fuck out of here. Yes, that's true. But weird stuff. But the main event is Tyrus. I went back and watched this, DJ. Tyrus versus EC3 for the NWA title. If Tyrus loses, he has to retire. And I never thought I would say this in my life. I would have bet $1 million that these words that are about to come out of my mouth never would come out of my mouth. But thank you, Tyrus. No. Okay. That's still not going to happen. Thank God EC3 is the NWA World Champion. Dude. So not only was it just a match, it was a bull rope match. It was. This, I don't think I'm telling any secrets here. This may be one of the worst matches I've ever fucking seen. I know the clip of Tyrus and his splash is making the rounds. Yes. Did I send you the clip of EC3 giving Tyrus a DDT from the apron to the floor? No, but I saw it. You might have sent it to me. Oh my God. Yeah. So this was night 2. This was. So we didn't see night 1. No, and I'm sure we missed nothing. Which had the number 1 contendership battle royal. Did we see that? Nope. No, but Zicky Dice is in it. Well, we did though because we did catch Daisy, Kill, and Talos. Oh, them winning the United States Tag Team titles from the Country Gentlemen, AJ Kazana and Anthony Andrews. Oh yeah, that's right, AJ Kazana, the cowboy, AJ Kazana, good Texas name. And then so we were flipping back and forth. We did not see Tom Latimer versus Chris Adonis. Oh, what do you call him? Sexy Jesus? Is that what Chris Adonis, aka Chris Masters? Yeah, sexy. Yeah. Jesus. Couldn't be Chris the Master Locke. Couldn't have done that one. Okay. Nope. And then there was the Pretty Empowered Ella Envy and Kylie Page versus M95 Maddie and Missa K. We didn't see that one. Colby Carino wins the NWA World Junior Heavyweight title against Jack Cartwheel. We mixed. Jack Cartwheel was wearing really awkward gear. Sure was. Maxie Impaler defeats Ruthie J in 5 minutes. We didn't see that. Nope. We did. I remember switching off of this one. La Rebellion of Bestia 666 and Mecha Wolf with Vampiro defeating the Brothers of Funstruction, Ruffo and Yabo the Clown. None of them as good as Yucko the Clown with Violent J. I don't think we watched a second of the match. No. We watched the entrances. They were in the ring, and you just go, I can't do this. I can't do this. It only went 8 minutes, which then led us to missing Kerry Morton versus Matt Cardona, which goes 9 minutes. Oh, my God. We did see the national heavyweight title match between Silas Mason and Jordan Clearwater. Brother, I have no recollection of this. Right, we don't. I just remembered that I was like, this Silas Mason guy must be a big Silas Young fan. We did miss. We saw some of this too. Blunt Force Trauma, Carnage and Damage with Aaron Stevens defeating Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch. Oh yeah, because they were Doom. Yes, they were guys dressed as Doom. Right. Yes, they were just as Doom, wrestling Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch. We watched Kenzie Page beat Camille. And Camille's like 800-day title run. And then the longest match on this card by a lot is that main event. EC3 versus Tyrus, 17 and a half minutes.
Yep.
And it has a 1.2 rating out of 19 votes on Cage Match right now. And I'm not going to say that we say all the time, it's a Cage Match. We use Cage Match not because it's right, but because it's easy. In this case, it's fucking both.
DJ, I purposely logged into my Cage Match account, which I haven't logged into in a long time, to go give it a 0.0.
Did you?
Yes,
oh my God, is your review on it? Did you write it?
I didn't write a review.
Anything?
No, didn't go that far, but I just had to make my presence known.
It's got a 0.0. It's got a 4.
Who in the fuck?
Somebody gave it a 4 and says, this match felt big. I don't know how, me either. Just the stakes.
You
the whole
gave it a
routine
4.
before the match, it felt like something meaningful, and then the bell rang. Of course, the match was abysmal. It was so funny because there were a few moments where I would have no idea what happened if commentators wouldn't have told me. And it's most likely because of Tyrus' inability to bump. But EC3's abilities do not help either.
Nope. Real bad.
Tyrus' babyface comeback kick out at 1, he won't stay down moment. We're all great.
No, it wasn't. No,
It's
you're
got a 0.
wrong, pal.
Somebody didn't even rate it. There's another 0. There's a 1. Somebody's giving this a one singular star only for the fact that one of the most prestigious belts of all time is off of one of the worst wrestlers of all time. Somebody gave it a 2. There's another person gave it a 2, a couple of 1s, and a 0.
Yeah.
It's got 11 zeros, 2 1s, 3 2s.
I implore
2
you,
3s, and 1 4.
If you're listening, to go pirate this show.
Yeah.
So you can watch it.
Okay.
Just to giggle.
Yes.
And see, oh, wow. Maybe the wrestling we get all the time, week to week on TV, really isn't that bad.
Right.
So maybe you should, shut the fuck up a little bit.
And we also, flipping back and forth to Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, there was one match I went back and
Did you see some Impact news? Karma's coming back.
Karma?
Awesome Kong.
Okay, yeah, we call her Awesome Kong, okay? We don't call her Karma.
Was she Karma? Was it WWE she was Karma?
She was, and never had a match, I don't think.
No?
No, because she was beating up all the divas and then she was pregnant.
Right. So what did we watch? What was that called?
Emergence.
There it is. All right, so Eric Young beats Diener. We didn't watch that.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
We watched part of it.
Oh, right, I remember. I remember saying, oh, you mean to tell me that Vince McMahon let Eric Young walk away? MK Ultra versus the Death Dolls.
We watched this too.
Versus Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans.
Because MK Ultra, I said, it's like one of the horniest tag teams I've ever seen.
Versus Jody Threat and Kylan King. Kenny King versus Johnny Singer.
We only saw the pre-match promo.
Singer,
and
never heard of him.
Shut it off because you said, I can't do this to myself.
Yep. The Rascals Subculture. You went back and watched that.
I did.
Went
that
18 minutes.
That match was really fucking
7.8 on Cage Match. That's pretty good.
Very good.
Okay.
Good for Trey Miguel. Good for, is he going by Zachary Wentz again?
Yes, Zachary Wentz.
Yes, I thought, good for them.
Yeah.
Good match.
After that, arguably the second worst thing of the entire weekend, the back-to-school match, Eddie Edwards versus Frankie Kazarian.
At this point, we shut off NWA. We were watching this because this happened at Killer Kowalski's school.
It sure did.
And we didn't even get to see the match part of it because they kept saying, don't touch that chair.
Right.
Who was it? Frankie saying to Eddie, don't touch his chair.
Right.
And Eddie would talk a bunch, and then he'd say, don't touch his chair.
Right.
And you said,
nothing here is for you to touch.
Yeah, and you said, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not watching this.
Well, because Eddie Edwards brought up that because he says to Frankie Kazarian,
that's
weren't you mad when I was the first foreigner to win the GHC?
And you shut it off.
Yep. No, thank you.
Said, no, this isn't happening.
Fucking happening.
Nope.
Eddie Edwards, you giant bag of shit. And then we missed everything else. No, that's not true. We watched the main event.
We missed Sonata.
We skipped Sonata Jake
the
something.
Random Sonata match on this show.
Right. We caught maybe the end of the 8-man tag.
We did.
With Bully. Your pal Bully Ray.
That's when PCO
comes out as Frankenstein and gets thrown through the table and
no sells it.
And then the main event of Trinity versus Deonna Purrazzo, which people gave a 7.25 on here because again, cage match.
I wouldn't go that
only because it's easy, not because it's right.
The one super awkward thing about the show, I thought the lighting was so fucking bad.
Yeah.
But I did read Impact said that they're going to be upping their production.
Yeah, they're shutting down like tours and stuff
okay, whatever, man.
They have a fucking following.
They sure
and
do.
And they have some talent.
They do. Absolutely
they just don't know how to use that talent.
It's weird.
But they're solidly number 3 as long as you count Ring of Honor separately.
I don't count Ring of Honor at this point.
Yeah. So
unless it's a pay-per-view, I don't watch Ring of Honor.
It would be like calling NXT a separate promotion from WWE at this point.
I've been hearing rumblings about NXT being like pretty decent again.
Yeah, it's gonna have to convince me with some 17-star matches for me to go back.
Did you see that Julius Creed clip that everybody's talking about?
The one-arm powerbomb that Ed's loving?
Pretty sick.
I didn't see it. I just saw Ed screaming
pretty
about
sick,
it.
not gonna lie.
These two shows were pretty all-around terrible.
Yeah.
Impact gets the win for being slightly better. And they do have some talent that even I like.
Absolutely.
They just don't know how to use them. Like you get, and by the way, that Frankie Kazarian match went 4 minutes. Like that's after all of that bullshit. They then just had a 4-minute match. I don't even know what the fuck it was.
I did not go back and watch that.
I won't go back and watch that. But like, very weird. But they have talent that they just seemingly aren't using properly. But it is also a very clear delineation between the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, and then I'm 4, 5, and 6 are staying blank for me. NWA is the 7th worth. Like AEW is a better promotion.
I'd put
PWG, GCW, Defy.
Absolutely.
Like NWA just gets like NWA is like better than I don't know what the fucking.
Imagine the NWA. You look a couple years ago, they had Eddie Kingston, Ricky Starks,
Homicide.
They had them.
We watched it when Power came on
because it was fun.
Right? Because all those dudes were there. They were in the old style set.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not anymore.
No.
So I have nothing from Rampage because I honestly skipped it.
I fast forwarded through it, but I have no notes because there's literally nothing to talk about from Rampage.
Collision. There was the good Eddie Kingston promo.
I have that. I love that promo.
Yeah, that was very good.
I like that they're in the ring. And the Blackpool Combat Club comes on, and they're like, Eddie, you're nothing, you're no good, whatever, you're this and that. And then, and Claudio, I like when Claudio says, we used to all be your friends. He goes, but in 5 years' time, everybody in the ring with now is not going to be your friend either. And where are you going to be then?
That was a good line.
And then he leaves, and like he's going to get him. And then when they cut to the backstage, like they say, we're cutting the Young Bucks thing, and it's Eddie, and he kicks the door open. He's like, where was he? You were filming him. Where'd they go? And then Eddie gets real close to the camera and he's all sweaty, but you can't see he dropped the strap, so it just looks like he's not wearing a shirt. And then he says that Claudio is his sweet boy or whatever.
Yeah.
And he says, he's like, Claudio, I'm saving you for last because you're my sweetheart. And then he kisses the camera, and I was like, that's unsettling.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston's gonna fuck Claudio.
Yeah, absolutely. Make him hold his pocket, and then fill his prison wallet. But then the match, you told me to go back and watch, which is why
the main
I did.
event?
The main
was
event.
Good.
You said it was good. I thought it was awesome.
Right, dude? Like, it was fun.
Right. Like, I know people say about build and all that, and this does sort of matter with the things that are going on.
Yeah.
But it was build as sort of an all-star, like, 8-man, sort of 4-on-4 tag match.
Yeah.
And, like, it felt like a house show match, like you would see it at a house show.
Exactly. It felt like
main
a
event.
fun house show main event.
But like, I was just rocking. I was like, this is cool. Dudes are being cool. They're getting the shit in. They're having a good time.
Commentary was amazing.
Right. They're having a good time. Like, it just felt fun. So like, I really enjoyed watching this match. Is it the best match you're ever going to see? Is it technically the best wrestle match? Whatever, all that kind of shit. I don't know that any of that matters. This was just a fun TV match.
Yeah.
Of getting everybody together in one thing and whatever happens.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I even loved the big brawl afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Punk squaring up with Joe.
Yeah.
Swerve with Darby and Sting, and Brian Cage came out. Christian with like getting involved too. I thought it was so much fun.
I really like this match.
Jungle Boy coming out and attacking Hook. Like those guys going at it.
Yeah.
It was awesome as fuck.
Absolutely.
It felt very chaotic and I loved it.
For sure.
All In.
Yes. I don't have any notes from All In, but let's I'll bring it up and we can talk about it.
So I don't think we need to go full into detail.
No, well, listen to TNM shows.
Yeah, listen to Viewer's Choice.
Viewer's Choice.
We did a nice solid hour on it.
We did.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I guess we'll talk a couple things.
Yeah.
CM Punk Samoa Joe.
Right.
This was the first match on the show. Depending on what you believe, this is a legit 81,000 tickets sold, which is the highest paid wrestling attendance ever.
Yep.
And Tony Khan was very adamant that he could back it up with the numbers.
Yes.
So, hey, man, good on you. It looked cool as fuck. The stadium was incredible. It's always awesome. But CM Punk Samoa Joe, I enjoyed the fuck.
It was a really
out
good
of
opener.
this, man.
Absolutely, there was a good match.
Good callbacks with Punk working the head, Punk getting color. Samoa Joe, of course, doing the walk away, when Punk goes for the dive.
Yeah.
Well, when Punk faked him out with it first, and then the second time Joe walked away, awesome. Joe hitting the Olay kick, which Joe said credit to Punk for taking all of that.
Right.
It was awesome. Punk winning with a fucking Pepsi plunge.
Crazy.
What world are we in,
And
brother?
it may be the last victory we see for old Phil, at least in AEW.
So,
especially if he continues to be out there supposedly praising Triple H.
Oh my God. All right. I guess we'll
we'll talk about it. It's the biggest thing that happened in wrestling this week.
I'm
and it's
just
oversaturated
so
and
over it.
Right.
I'm just over it.
It's actively ruining the internet for me. You cannot escape. Every corner of the internet is about CM Punk right now.
It really is.
And it is incredibly frustrating. And we come from different sides of this because you're a fan of the guy and I'm not.
I am.
Right? And but we both finally meet in the middle and be like, just stop. Just shut up. Everybody shut up. Everybody shut up. Right. And I understand we're talking into microphones and this is going to be put out into the universe, but everybody around the CM Punk thing is shut the fuck up. Right. So the controversy. We're not breaking any fucking news here,
of course
right?
Not.
But the pre-show had the Better Than You Baby winning the titles, which was a shocker.
The ROH
tag titles, and then you had Jack Perry
and Hook
versus Hook, where Jack once again needles Phil about the glass, and listen, Jack, the side that a lot of people aren't taking on Punk, and it's all personal preference. It depends on where you are. But you cannot deny that this man has not been needled and prodded and poked every minute of the last 6 months to 3 weeks.
Jack's friends that he's tight with from SoCal.
Right. Hangman showing up randomly on a collision. The people within the organization in different roles liking anti-CM Punk tweets. And I'm not trying to defend Punk here because he's the most gotten to fucking person on the planet. He's chronically online and they're needling him because
he's unstable.
There's no way to me that you can say that CM Punk wasn't categorically attacked. Right?
It definitely was.
When he didn't walk away, when he wasn't fired or didn't retire or quit like he said he was going to, you cannot convince me that certain camps within wrestling weren't like, if he's not going to walk, we'll make him walk. We will push and prod because we know how easily gotten to he is until he fucks it up himself. That's 100% the strategy here. That's absolutely what happened. That the people that are against him just sent the low-level cronies, and then they were able to say, well, we're not nothing to do. We can't control what fucking Ryan Nemeth says, right? Jungle Boy. And Jungle Boy's a different thing, too, because I talked about this with Joe this week at the comic shop when Joe holds court. It's really fun going to the comic shop when Joe's talking because he holds court and everybody, whatever.
Start FaceTiming me during these sessions.
But if somebody in production tells Jack you shouldn't use real glass and he blows it off, all right, whatever, right? But then when Tony Schiavone, a man who's been wrestling for decades, says don't use real glass, you should be like, all right, I'm not going to.
The medical team tells you.
And then Punk has to step in as a fellow wrestler, and whether he handled it the right way or not, it should have never even escalated. Once somebody like Tony Schiavone says no, this young shithead who's a pillar of the company should fucking listen and not do it, right? But he didn't, and then he needles Punk. And then, I guess, so Joe was telling me this, I don't know if you caught this either, but, they took Samoa Joe's pyro off the stage. So when the pay-per-view starts, Joe gets the fire, right? Yeah. So that match wasn't going to happen. So the fight happens with Punk and Jack backstage. And nobody can figure out what's happening. So they go to the 6-man. Tony Khan sends out the team to remove Samoa Joe's pyro. and they go to the 6 man and say, "Are you guys ready? Can you guys go out first?"
And they said no.
And they said, "No, we're not ready."
Or no. They said FTR Bucks.
Yeah, whichever.
And then they said no.
Right.
Then they went to the 6 man and they said, "I guess we can."
Right.
Yeah.
And then they decided it was still going to stay with Punk and Joe. And then I guess you can find this online. They had to go and re-put Samoa Joe's pyro back out because it's like cans. It's cans they take on and off the stage.
Yeah.
And so they had removed it because they're like, this isn't happening. And then put it back out there in a matter of like 3 minutes at the beginning of the show. And the match happens and it's very good. And then the Miro stuff with that which has all been now everybody jumping to fucking conclusions.
Dude, how crazy.
This was 3 days ago. Everybody was like, "Oh, Miro's going to kick CM Punk has a death wish. He wants to fight the Bulgarian Brute."
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, they were just fucking dicking around because it's all ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Jack and Punk are suspended. Everybody knows this shit. But like again, it certainly seems like a shitty coordinated attack against Punk because they know how easily gotten to he is. They know how much of a messy bitch he is, and they don't want him there. And like, I just think all sides are real shitty, and a lot of people are real focused on CM Punk being shitty, and it's because CM Punk has this reputation.
Of course.
It's how most of his wrestling relationships have ended.
Yeah.
But that was used to the opposing side's advantage here. I really think it is. I'm not excusing any of his behavior. But I too would snap.
I said here a couple weeks ago, like, listen, I love CM Punk, but like, I know he's an asshole. I know he's paranoid.
Right.
And like, for you to like acknowledge all that shit, okay, then it's fine.
Right.
You know? I do agree. Like, I do think he was getting fucked with a little bit.
He absolutely was.
You know,
and Tony Khan's too much of a bitch to handle it like a grown up and a fucking CEO of the company.
You know, and I don't know. I come from a different line of thinking of you talk shit, I'm going to confront you.
So here's the thing,
where a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's a bully and he's picking on little guys or whatever," and
Jungle Boy's a grown ass man.
They ran their fucking mouth.
Right, exactly.
Like it's just I don't know. I come from that weird
Right. I understand
that world of like you run your mouth, you're going to get checked.
And Joe, when I was talking to him, said a really interesting thing about the Punk and the Young Bucks. Like, Punk is just barely that generation before the Bucks, where things in wrestling were handled a little different.
Yeah.
And the Bucks enter, and it's just not that anymore, right? But, you know, and I'm a self-proclaimed pacifist, but there used to be a time, and I'm going to sound real shitty and like an old man when I say this, but like, I'm not going to say there used to be a time, right? Sometimes a smack in the mouth just makes you realize that you're fucking up, right? You say something stupid and you get one across the face and you're like, oh, right. I shouldn't have said that, right? You know, maybe I shouldn't have called your grandmother a whore.
I know that's when I had to wallop your one when you did.
Right. But like, you know, and Punk has gotten to, and in a professional setting, because they're at work, quote unquote, of course, I don't think you should be fighting at work, but also the EVP shouldn't be needling a guy who is an employee. And all of this is a much bigger conversation that has been litigated and relitigated and re-relitigated across podcasts and internet and articles and whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think Jungle Boy was a little froggy. And I think Jungle Boy leapt. And I think he learned a lesson. Because if there's truth to the fact that there is video of the incident between him and Punk, and that video comes out, and Punk really did sleep,
if that's
Jungle Boy,
if that's the report, and it seems nobody is refuting that part of it.
If you have the 3-4 minute clip of the confrontation that ends in Jungle Boy getting slept by CM Punk, I will pay $50 for that on pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
Like,
I would love to see that.
Put that shit up by themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being a kid and paying for Mike Tyson's fights and they lasted 30 seconds. Yeah. Well, not me paying, but
sure,
my dad or whatever. And they'd be 30 seconds and we're like, oh, that's bullshit, right? I will pay you $50 if there's no other way for me to get the footage of CM Punk dropping or choking out, whatever the hell it was, to Jack Perry.
I said back a year ago when the brawl happened, Brawl Out or whatever, if you're telling me that CM Punk jaw-jacked a young buck.
Right, exactly.
That man's a god, okay?
Right, at the end of the day, yeah, absolutely.
Like, if he fucking choked out Luke Perry's kid.
Right, yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Right. To the cheers of 80,000 people outside that have no idea what's going on. It's awesome. I'm here for it. And then went out and wrestled Samoa Joe. All here for
Somebody pointed out they showed Samoa Joe when he was in the ring.
Yeah.
And on like his tape or whatever, he had blood on it. And they're
Oh,
like,
yeah?
Because they said he was the one who broke up the fight.
Oh,
and they go, he had Jack Perry's blood on him.
I hope that's true.
Yeah.
I
Listen,
really do.
man, oh God, I know it's tough because I'm a punk dude,
Right.
no doubt.
Well, but you're a punk dude, but you can tell
But
people
I'm
being
also
shitheads.
a normal person when I
Right.
realize like you're a little
Right.
too much, Phil.
Right.
Calm the fuck
Yes.
down, you know?
I'm also not saying that Phil probably doesn't deserve a smack in the mouth. He probably
Of course
does.
he does. Absolutely he does.
Clearly, everybody that's fucking tried has lost.
Absolutely. But then
So-
like when you have people literally bring up his behavior from like 1999.
Right.
Come on,
Right.
guys.
Right.
Let's fucking enough.
The Young Bucks are going to have to bring in Mickey Gall to get him put down. That's about all they can do so far, I
As the
think.
enforcer.
Right?
You know, and listen, you could go scour the internet and see who was defending who.
Dude has a reputation.
There was the talks that like Brody, we got so fucking mad he punched something, but
Right.
then they're like, oh no, he didn't punch anything, he kicked the trash can.
Sure.
And, then there was the talks that like House of Black was ready to fight people like for Phil. Hobbs was ready to start throwing at
Right.
people.
Let's
And
go.
I'm
Let's
like,
go.
Right? Like part of me is like,
Right.
okay.
And you know what this is?
Let's
The
do
most
this.
important part of all this is this could all be business if these people would shut the fuck up.
Could all be
How
business.
much
'Cause
money you can make? How much money you leaving on the fucking table?
there was we were told Phil tried to squash it with the Bucks before the
Yes.
show and went up to him and said, let's move on. Like we're making history. Let's just let's go. And they blew him off.
Right. Well, and
And if that's true,
right.
that's just them being
Right.
fucking bitches.
Right. And, you know, another big thing about this, and I don't remember who pointed it out, Trevor Damer, it might have even been Joe, or somebody said that, like, one of the most important things people need to consider in this situation is that everything that happens to CM Punk and AEW is going to be tainted if they don't know better. Because one of the things that everybody's talking about is how his travel got fucked up, right? And that happens.
It does.
Right? And he said people are saying like he even took the blame for it, right? He forgot to get international minutes on his phone. He didn't know what to do. He got on the subway. People helped him. He got there. Whatever it happens to be, right? He could say, oh, we should have called him. We could have done a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And that's fine. Right? And like, okay, his travel got fucked up. Maybe you reprimand the guy who fucked up the travel of arguably your biggest star.
Yeah.
But innocent enough. Until you see the dude responsible for the travel on Twitter, has a job because he's friends with the Young Bucks, and liking anti-CM Punk tweets. And those things may not even be related, but they're going to seem related.
It's all about optics.
Right. And so every single bad interaction, or even in some cases good interaction that Punk is going to have, if a line, no matter how zigzaggy and twisted and looping that line is, can be drawn back to the Young Bucks, he has a valid point.
Yeah.
He has at least enough concern to be worried about it.
I was talking,
and that's insane.
I was talking this week with somebody, and they pointed out, if your travel coordinator guy is doing that shit and retweeting stuff and liking stuff, you should be fired. You should be let go.
That's what you have burners
This
for.
isn't your job.
Right.
Like this, your job isn't to do this.
Right.
Obviously, you're very one-sided or whatever. Yeah, like you said, if you had a burner,
That's what you have burners for.
whatever, dude.
I went after Marjorie Taylor Greene today for my burner.
Like whatever.
So
So Phil Brooks went after
Phil Brooks called her an empty-headed dumb fuck. I'm staying on brand.
There you go. I like it. So yeah, when you have that situation and you have people in management or, jobs of power or position that are important to the company, and they're purposely either like going, I'm not saying purposely fucking with Phil, but like doing that type of shit and liking that stuff and I'm the extra young buck or whatever.
The reasonable,
dude, you gotta go.
The reasonable doubt is removed. And the thing is, that guy's got to go. I would assume, I would, if I'm in charge, I'm stripping the Young Bucks of their EVP status.
Yeah, and I don't even know if you can.
I don't know. I don't know
how that works.
I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I would figure out a way. Tony Khan's got a lot of money. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, really.
Tony Khan has to put a fucking foot down.
He needs a bad guy. He needs somebody to be the bad guy because he can't be.
He really does.
Yep. I'll do it.
I'll
tell all these fuckers where to go.
It's bad, man. If everything you're hearing is all what happened, it's so
tough.
fucking toxic.
Well, and wrestling is always going to be this way because it's egos. You can't be a wrestler without a giant ego. You
But
can't
this
be a
is
wrestler
like,
on top of
this
a giant
is turned
ego.
up because a lot of the people in this company are virtually online.
Right.
And none of them shut the fuck up.
Chronically online, absolutely.
You know?
Yes. And
they just don't.
The thing that hurts the most too, like, and I say, we say, and I said, this could all be business, right?
Yeah.
It's gone beyond that point now because here's the thing: you wrestle an intense style. If they were to get in the ring, if they were to shake hands, the lawyers aren't involved. Bygones are bygones. Let's make money. Let's literally the biggest match, the biggest potential match in all of pro wrestling.
That buy rate would be through
right
the
now
roof.
is Punk versus one of the Bucks or Omega and the Bucks versus Punk and FTR. Mm-hmm. It's the biggest money match
absolutely.
in the world.
Absolutely.
But you can't do it.
No.
Because if either side, it's wrestling. Potatoes fucking happen, right? Botches happen. Sometimes somebody gets a lip bloodied or an eye bruised.
It's going to be
whatever.
Magnified.
If that happened in a match with those guys, it's over. It either becomes somebody like walking out, or the automatic assumption is that you did it on purpose, even if you didn't. Because shit happens. Like potatoes happen all the fucking time. Look at Ty Conti's entire fucking career.
Absolutely.
Right? Look at Xia Li, like
true shooter.
The true shooter of NXT. Like shit happens, right? So they can never do those matches now because if anything happens, it's going to immediately revert back to that was purposeful, and it's just going to become a Jim Duggan, Matt Bourne. We work and we shoot.
What would have to happen? What would have to happen is you would have to make amends, but have it be minimum probably 3-4 months down the line.
Yes, right.
Make sure that you guys can build that trust up again and be okay.
They would need couples therapy
and prove it.
Yeah. Right.
Also, if I'm Tony Khan, I sit everybody in a room and say, "Hey, what's the goal of wrestling?
Right,
making money. You're all fucking with each other and me for making money right now."
That's a big angle that a lot of people aren't talking about, but like. One of the contingencies in Warner Brothers giving them a second show was CM Punk on top of it. If Punk walks, you can easily draw those lines if I'm Tony Khan or somebody else and say, well, if Warner Brothers says, you know what, Collision was good for what it is, but we're not renewing that TV contract because you don't have a star big enough that we think is big enough, even though they do. They just need to put some faith in some different people. Mm-hmm. But if Warner Brothers optically says, well, we did this show because CM Punk was here and he's the biggest draw in wrestling right now. Yeah, you look at the Collision ratings and say he's not. But again, an ass every 24 inches and selling T-shirts. Mm-hmm. If they pull that show for whatever reason, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm like, get the fuck out, guys! Like you hampered that. You hurt my business.
Just enough of this shit.
I think it's breaking down to all sides of this are now actively hurting Tony Khan's business.
Yeah,
and he's too much of a fucking mark to actually do anything about it. If Punk wants to come back, and Punk has the right to come back, and I'm not going to blame him if he does, but like, if Punk comes back, Tony Khan's going to welcome him back with open arms and hug him on TV and whatever, and he's going to try to do the same thing with Young Bucks. He's trying to play two sides. He needs a bad guy, maybe two bad guys. Mm-hmm. And you would think the Arn Andersons of the world or somebody would be able to do that, but it seems like backstage there isn't that guy.
No. You need fucking somebody.
Right.
It's supposed to be like your head of talent relations, but that's Christopher Daniels.
Right.
And that relationship is damaged.
Right, and I guess Tony Khan has given CM Punk enough power where he can just send Daniels home. That's a mistake.
That's a problem.
Right, it's a big problem.
You can't be doing that.
You cannot.
Oh God,
it's messy.
More as this unfolds, and next week on As the Fucking World Turns, we'll talk more.
Yes.
Stadium Stampede, I thought was awesome as fuck.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Seeing the cool pictures of Eddie, like a picture from him behind in the stadium, like him looking out at the stadium, really cool. Brutal.
I wish they did more with him in the match. But it's fine. I get it.
Moxley took the skewers.
Yes.
Him and Eddie ended up in the barbed wire. OC got stabbed with a fork a bunch.
Yeah.
Mike Santana is a fucking hoss now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's so cool.
Yes.
I enjoyed that. Darby and Sting against Swerve and Christian.
Yeah.
We enjoyed the fuck out of this.
Darby, as I said on Viewer's Choice, Darby's my MVP of this whole thing because, like, and you listen to the show, I'm not the biggest Darby guy. Sometimes I'm like, a little too much. Let's be safe here, Darby. Like, I'm not trying to be safety police, but I'm like, I would like to see you walk when you're 30.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, he's taking this bump on the fucking coffin like that and everything. Awesome.
Sting as Jack the Ripper beforehand in the video, and then him coming out to Seek and Destroy by Metallica.
So cool.
Everybody in the room got super pumped when that happened.
Yeah.
We were all singing along, and it felt like some good brother shit, man.
That's right.
And
Manly man shit.
Yeah, the match was just fucking
awesome. So much fun. It was really killing fun.
I'll tell you what, too. Will Ospreay, Chris Jericho.
Way better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Like,
seeing as I thought it was going to be absolute dog shit. It was actually a pretty good match.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I agree. Yeah. Will Ospreay, probably AEW bound.
I would assume.
Mercedes Moné, probably AEW
Especially
bound.
now. So, did you see the picture? She is still in a boot.
So, yes, I saw that. And I thought, okay, she's just working, brother.
Maybe.
But.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. And then, MJF Adam Cole for the world title. Mm-hmm. It seemed to divide people the more I looked into people's thoughts on it. People said, if I wanted an NXT match, I would just watch NXT.
I saw a lot of people saying that this seemed like a little bit of an NXT main event angle, but
I could get where people are saying it.
I guess so, but
also just because Adam Cole's in NXT doesn't mean that it's just an NXT match,
right?
But,
and also just because. Leans a little more sports entertainery.
Sure, and
doesn't
maybe
mean it's an NXT match. I think it's just become good wrestling. Really, good TV wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, AEW gets criticized for lack of storylines. Well, they're giving you a story here and a story throughout the match. So,
and if it's called an NXT main event, it's because people are remembering when NXT was the hottest program on TV.
Absolutely, it was.
So, I'd take that as a compliment because.
This is something that everyone liked.
Right. Oh, yeah, this main event was the cool thing that was really good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Well, fuck.
I like cool things that are good.
Yeah, and I know our big talk was before the show, we didn't know what was going to happen with MJF and Adam Cole.
Well, and they certainly kept us guessing with them winning the tag titles. And
I know, through a wrench we're all saying, really, what are they doing?
Right.
And then you had the post-match, breakup tease, and they don't pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. And my God, do I love Roderick Strong now.
Oh, Roddy's great. Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll talk about how Dynamite put him, Adam. Adam.
It's really funny.
Oh, he's so good.
He's doing a good job for sure.
But all in, overall, man, again, I thought it was awesome.
AEW's never given us a bad pay-per-view.
We talked about Viewer's Choice, 2 matches that were not great, but nothing where I'd say, actively bad.
No, the women's match was made for a moment, not a match.
That was a moment.
I can argue is both good and bad.
Even you could say the trios was made for the moment to give Billy Gunn another title, which was nice.
Yeah.
But these shows, man, they deliver.
Right. The build lacks. Usually, they haven't figured that shit out yet. And again, AEW, I understand they're an established company. They're number 2. They broke the record with this attendance and all that. But they're still experiencing growing pains, right? Yeah. They're going to continue to because they're stepping from the company to the size. The sneeze is coming back, by the way.
Oh my God, that was violent.
Always. But every sort of step from how big they're going to be able to draw and all that stuff will introduce more growing pains. So they are still growing as a company. WWE's had this shit figured out for 40 years. So it's interesting to see, but I don't think they've really disappointed us with the pay-per-view. This wasn't their best pay-per-view ever, but it's not their worst.
No, definitely not. I thought most matches were good on this. There was more really good than bad.
Yes. And, this one that's coming up, it has potential to be one of the weirder ones. But again, I think you're going to like watching it.
There's going to be
not going to be satisfying storyline necessarily.
Yeah, and some of the things they do set up, I do kind of question.
Yes.
But
it is a bizarre choice. No matter how established your company is, doing 2 pay-per-views, a pay-per-view after week to week.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre to have 2 pay-per-views in a week.
I don't know why.
Because unless everything that happens on the first one is going to spin into something for the next one, which they didn't do, you're not going to be able to build anything. It's just going to look random.
Yeah. I do know Tony Khan said on that conference call today for All Out,
Yeah.
he tried to get them bundled.
Sure.
But the companies were just not having it.
Right. Well,
and he said, you know, it's weird that we still kind of live in a world where we can't do that.
Right. You
where
can do whatever
everybody's
you want.
happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
He goes, but he said, we tried.
Yeah.
And he said, who knows, maybe next year All Out, it's going to be on a different service. Like maybe just do it on Max or whatever.
Yeah.
Depending.
Who knows?
But again, man.
The other thing that I saw that's interesting about AEW is that it's hard to do something that feels like a pay-per-view when your weekly TV has really good wrestling on it already. Because WWE's formula is sort of storyline heavy and good. Not that they don't have really good matches on TV here and there, but like typically the matches are a little more pointed storyline wise, and then the big match stuff, the wrestling side of it, is saved for the pay-per-views. And AEW doesn't do that. You know, so there's been matches on Dynamites and Collisions that have been better than matches on these pay-per-views. So it's hard to be like, well, $50, you're giving me stuff for free every week.
Yeah.
So that's hard. But I like the stuff that they've set up for this next pay-per-view. I think the storyline is fine, but like, you know, storylines are great, and yes, I would like more of them, but also if you're going to give me Eddie Kingston and Shibata as a tag team, I'm not going to be like, well, this is dumb,
I'm not complaining about that.
So,
speaking of build, let's talk Dynamite.
Okay, Dynamite. Dynamite.
So, it started with Jon Moxley versus Commander.
It did.
Which, it makes sense. Commander wants to get revenge for Rey Fenix.
Storyline, look at that.
But,
yeah,
I don't like OC and Penta having an international title match, and the winner meets Jon Moxley at the pay-per-view.
Very weird.
I think that's...
People should wrestle for the chance to fight the title holder.
I think that's dumb as fuck.
Real dumb idea.
They did it with Sheeta as part of the tournament.
Yep.
For the women's title.
Right. Champions get the advantage. Otherwise, what's the point of having a fucking belt?
Real dumb.
Weird. Very weird.
This should have been Moxley versus Penta last night.
Right.
You could have done OC Commander.
Right.
That's fine. But yeah, this was not
right.
Good.
And
I just
like the right for OC and Penta to get revenge on Mox, it just doesn't make any sense.
What's the fucking point?
Right.
I understand, like, and we'll talk later. We got that awesome OC promo at the end, but still, it just logically it makes no sense.
You should have had like Penta and OC arguing over who's going to get revenge on Mox, and then Penta getting it on like Dynamite. And then afterwards, Mox winning and OC going, oh, fine, you can beat him. Let's see if he can beat me at the pay-per-view for my belt.
Yeah, it's just...
very weird.
Yeah, I don't...
I also didn't really think Mox Commander was that great.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Boy, Jon Moxley, that man needs a goddamn vacation.
We've been saying that for months and months and months. I don't think he wants one.
You know why he doesn't want one?
Because he's... more tougher than shoe leather and more dangerous than a hollow-eyed scorpion.
Some people say they're Terry Funk.
Exactly.
Others just are. So after this, they give you the promo, and it ends up being FTR and the Young Bucks going to face Bullet Club Gold at All Out.
What I liked about this was that they filmed it at Wembley, so you knew this was the plan the whole time.
Yeah, which is nice.
Which is nice to know. But when Bullet Club is like, it's the five of us... counting switchboard card blade.
Oh, it's so good.
Is hilarious.
I was laughing, and not so much laughing. Somebody had the idea I read today where right as the bell rings, the Bucks super kick FTR.
Oh,
lay him out and leave.
Yeah,
why not?
Sure,
you're in Chicago.
Yeah,
you're gonna get fucking booed anyway.
Maybe this crowd wasn't. I think Dynamite did sound a little weird to me. I think they muted this crowd in anticipation a little bit this time.
Yeah. This also
because it made them seem like they weren't as into the show.
This also wasn't in Chicago. It's Hoffman Estates, which I was told is a little bit far from Chicago.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought this whole week was in Chicago.
The pay-per-view is at the United Center.
Yeah. Okay. So that's gonna be different. Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought they were all in a very similar spot.
I
didn't do any research. I just assumed.
Mike lives in Chicago, and I'm pretty sure he said like it's a decent distance. Kind of like how the 49ers are San Francisco, yet they play like an hour away from San Francisco.
Okay,
or
like how the Giants play in New Jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, but Yeah, I mean, we'll see. That'd be interesting.
So it's 38 miles from Chicago.
Wow.
They're in Hoffman Estates.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
All right.
a bit of a hike, you
a
know,
little bit, especially getting through city traffic and all that.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Weird.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's just fucking turn around and lay FTR out.
And so the interesting thing is that Tony Khan has not confirmed a suspension across the board.
he just said there's an incident.
So he said there's an incident and we're
It's under
investigating.
review, yeah.
Right. So, you know, there's still a chance.
I don't know how you have this show without CM
There's still a
Punk.
chance.
It does not make sense to me.
Yeah.
How can you?
Well, because you might have to stick to your guns and suspend a guy for getting violent backstage,
I get it, man. Listen,
or your investigation doesn't conclude until Monday morning,
and there we are.
and it announces Monday that you change whatever you're going to do with CM Punk. You change the plans so that he's written off TV for a bit, and then Monday morning the announcement comes that that the investigation is concluded and we've decided to suspend both.
So here's the thing:
or whatever.
They never formally announced a suspension for the Bucks, and
No,
they never did, and they don't have to.
right? They don't have to. Right.
Somebody will
Right.
stooge it off, and
Yes.
that's how people will know.
Too many people listen to Brian Alvarez.
I've been championing
Too
that
many
for
fucking
years.
people listen to Brian Alvarez.
Agreed.
But yeah, so after that we get the Toni Storm promo where she can't trust anyone.
She's so amazing at this.
This character, I really do think is lightning in a bottle for her.
Yeah, just this disheveled 50s actress.
Yes, I think it's
so
great.
Good.
She has the perfect look for
It
it.
came out of nowhere too.
Right, and so I don't know if it was something she came up with or whatever. But she is brilliant in it and brilliant for it.
Yeah.
And it is immediately better than anything they did with the Outcasts.
Yeah.
And she can't trust anybody. She's by herself.
But the Outcasts are teaming up on Collision.
Right. So we'll see what happens. But I'll tell you who she can trust. And I think this is be a really interesting thing.
Juice Robinson.
Right. I think she could fall into the loving arms of Juice Robinson.
Of her hubby.
Get an official wrestling female member of the Bullet Club.
Okay.
I don't think that's ever happened
she could
before.
Be a Bullet Babe.
Sure. But not really because she'd be a full-fledged member.
That was when Luke Gallows' wife was involved. With
I didn't
his
know.
ex-wife, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Because they never made the bunny lady.
She was the Bullet Babe, Amber Gallows.
Oh, that's really stupid. But I think she can fall back into the sweet, loving arms of her insane husband, who I love so very much.
I'd also like to fall into those sweet loving
me too. I'd like to fall into more than the arms. You know what I'm saying? But
Sammy Chris Jericho.
yes. Well, Toni Storm. Seriously, watch this character. She's doing great things.
It's incredible.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So Sammy Chris Jericho kind of have their talk in the ring, which turns into them just making fun of each other.
Yeah, not great.
I definitely
too long.
Definitely thought they were gonna do Sammy Jericho at the pay-per-view.
Me too. Seems like the logical move,
but they're not.
No, they're going for the tag titles instead. How are they? Are they?
So and there was
who were tag champions?
FTR.
So are they challenging FTR? Is that what's happening? How did they figure this out?
So they just said that they're going to make a run at the tag titles.
I don't hate that for Jericho because there's not a ton of single stuff for him to do right now.
Who out of these two came off like more of a dickhead? Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
What can you do to have Jericho turn on Sammy?
That's
even
true.
though Jericho just got left by everybody in the Jericho Appreciation Society and was joining with Callis, and then Callis turned on him to make Jericho seem like the good guy.
Yes.
But now we're doing this where Jericho comes off like the dickhead.
And it is just very similar to the Garcia stuff where like Garcia was like, I'm out. And then one day he's like, I'm just kidding. I'm with you guys. Even though he's getting treated like dog shit.
It's very like,
clearly
what are we doing?
Listen, Jericho, I would not be surprised if Jericho makes $1 more than whoever the top earner in AEW is.
Of course.
And has complete creative control. That doesn't work for me, brother.
Because I was thinking here, okay, if Sammy came off more like the dickhead here, or, you build it to where Sammy turns on Jericho at the pay-per-view and joins up with Callis.
Right.
But then, like, they had the little backstage thing with Sammy and Callis where Sammy's like, get the fuck away from me.
Right, don't touch me. Yeah.
Who knows if that's a little, playing possum.
Yeah.
But then Jericho will look like the good guy if Sammy does that.
Right.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
Jericho has and continues to live in his own wrestling world.
Jericho's not this almighty tweener guy.
No.
Where we going here with the?
Jericho's stuff, particularly all of this like Appreciation Society stuff, feels a little outside of everything else that's going on, a little insulated from the rest of the AEW universe.
Yes.
And also, I know we're seeing them, I think, on Rampage, the challenges for the Acclaimed are Garcia and 2.0.
That's on Collision.
That's on Collision.
Week, yeah.
And I'm glad we're seeing them, but those guys are now twisted in the wind because Jericho wanted to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows?
Yeah. Let's move on from that. Let's talk about Eddie Kingston and Wheeler Yuta.
Okay.
This got announced during the day yesterday.
Yeah.
We're all excited for it because it was for the New Japan Strong Openweight title.
Eddie's first defense?
Yeah. Match was awesome.
Yeah, match was really good. Of course it is.
Eddie was probably the most over person on this show last night.
Yeah. I'm going to wear my Eddie Kingston shirt to the LVC Steel Stacks.
So should I not wear mine? Is that what you're telling me?
Everybody only has the same Eddie Kingston shirt because they only ever made one good one.
The best one that there could be.
Yeah. I'll wear my Aja Kong shirt again and subtly jab at Yuta for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have to avoid wearing my Aja Kong shirt then. So yeah, match was really good.
Let's just dress exactly alike.
I'm not opposed.
Okay. I hope you like bikini cut underwear. Anyway.
Ew. Bikini briefs. Get your fucking selves together. What was this, fucking 1986? Gross. With your fucking gross pubes hanging out. Ugh. You gross people.
All right. I'll wear my black silk underwear.
Oh, God. You're wearing your red panties that night. So I loved Claudio at the end of this coming out
and
picking up you and not even acknowledging.
Absolutely.
Oh, it was so good.
It was really good.
Then what gets announced is another battle royal to determine the number one contenders for the Ring of Honor.
We got Max and Cole promo where it looks like they're splitting and they're not or whatever, and they're buddies and whatever.
Yeah.
And then now we're getting a battle royal for the Ring of Honor titles and a tournament for Triple B.
Oh my God! Tony
Tony Khan goes back to that playbook and forgets that he did these.
He's
2 months
nothing if
ago.
not consistent.
And I like tournaments in wrestling.
I do too. Here's the thing, though.
Yeah,
like once a year, maybe.
Right. Or I would allow it this time if the tournament for Triple B was a one-night tournament. Because wrestling doesn't do that so much anymore.
They don't.
And I like one night tournaments, not like the Super Juniors 4 people one night tournament. But yeah, it's just another tournament. It's very weird. It's like they got rid of the rankings. Remember when AEW had rankings that made no sense? Yeah. And they're like, well, how do we determine number one contenders? And if we don't have rankings, we're like, oh, tournaments, just tournaments and battle royals. Yeah.
I said last
Everybody
night,
in a battle royal with 6 battle royals. The winner of each battle royal begins the tournament.
Yeah, you have a tournament of battle royals to get into the tournament.
Right. It should be reverse battle royals. Is what it should be.
Oh, bro. This is where Adam Cole comes out, does the promo, and then you have Adam.
Yes,
Adam.
Unhinged Roddy.
I love this so much because in the MJF Cole match of the pay-per-view, Roddy tries not once but twice to get Adam Cole to fucking beat up Max.
Right.
He kicked Max in the dick and said, "Here, there's your title," and he wouldn't do it. And him just screaming at him, and then throws him the belt to Cole and hit him, and Cole still won't do it. And Rod just becoming unhinged each time. It makes me so happy.
For sure.
So Roddy declares himself for the tournament, and he tells Adam, "You don't care about my neck health,"
right?
Which is a fucking funny line,
right?
You had what's her faces, the Kingdom in there. Yeah, I didn't think they were that bad.
Everybody was talking about Matt Taven's promo being okay.
It was fine.
Yeah, the bell rings, but
but it was fine. I
thought it was my goal for Matt Taven is to be unoffensive.
I thought it was good points to build up the story again,
for sure.
And then we get after that the thrown together women's 6 woman tag,
which I thought was fun.
Yeah.
I like seeing Emmy in a match.
Emmy's cool.
Marina Shafir should stop wrestling just about altogether because Taz can try all he wants to put her over as a judoka. It just doesn't fucking work.
Taz, I love you, brother, but it ain't happening.
Right. I thought that they had an opportunity towards the end to actually let the bad guys sneak out a win when the good guy team was a little separated and split and they rolled like Stat into the ring or whatever. And I was like, oh, they can actually make this work with just some little double team and some cheating. They could get these bad guys to win and maybe get a Stat versus Emmy match in the future or something. But instead we just get the good guys win. And Stat looks awesome. I'm not going to complain about Stat Later looking cool as shit and Sheeta looking good and getting the big pop and everything. But you know, when you put on a match like this and you're like, oh yeah, it's arguably your top 3 women's wrestlers against a former champion and what is sadly in Emmy's case 2 job ladies. Of course you know what's happening here, and I would have liked them to upend that a little bit because you can do that. You can work your way around that shit. But I thought it was fun enough. I like Emi Sakura a lot, so I'm never going to complain about Emi Sakura getting TV time.
Yeah, I guess she's on ROH this week too.
Yeah.
The Acclaimed unveiled their new belts.
They did.
Their scissoring belts.
I like the scissor clasp at the back.
Man.
It's funny. Whatever.
Sure. That's all right.
Yeah,
that's rock.
It's fine. That's what these guys do. I think we've seen. We've said this all the time. Bowens has a much higher ceiling than Max Caster to me, and I think we've seen just about their highest level of tag team wrestling they can do. Like, I don't think they're going to really rise above and they're good. But I don't think they're elevating beyond what we've seen them do. I think this is just like can we recreate that Magic run? Because their tag run ended so weirdly. But so I'm fine with it. I'm not looking for 5-star matches out of these guys. You know, it doesn't have to be matches in wrestling don't have to have 5 stars to be good and worth it.
Sure.
But I don't know that we're going to get any sort of big jump in ability or match quality from the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
It's just very much like they say in their promos. Let's give Billy a title and, you know, let's have fun.
Sure. Main event, Orange Cassidy versus Penta.
Yes.
El Zero Mado Gon Jr., whatever the fuck he's going by now. I thought this rocked.
Great. Really, really good.
I know people were bitching about like the dueling Canadian Destroyer thing.
Who cares? I thought it was fun. I liked it.
Just enough people.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy obviously wins. I will say, I kind of want a Penta singles run.
Yeah. Penta's the better wrestler.
Remember when they teased doing it and he had that one-on-one match with Cody Rhodes? I would like, I don't know, I just would like to see him get a nice run. But Orange Cassidy afterwards cuts an amazing promo.
It was, and it's interesting because with all the drama going on, with all the talk and the backstage shit that's going on in AEW.
Yeah, everybody was like that fucking gif of Charlie from That's Always Sunny Day trying to put every little piece together of this promo and who's it about and oh my god.
End your Dynamite go home show before the pay-per-view. The match with arguably your biggest babyface, if not your number 2 babyface, huge start. Orange Cassidy's run. People aren't talking about it enough. This is a ridiculously good run of professional wrestling. The 20-some title defenses, sneaking them out, like telling storytelling in these matches.
I love the finish last night.
Yeah, right. Psychology
Phenomenal.
and everything. Like really one of the better told wrestling stories in AEW, really, and all of wrestling for a while. It's one of the better told ones. But with all the chaos seemingly backstage and all the reports and all the shit and all the expectations and the crowds and everybody sort of anticipating what comes next, it's an interesting and could be telling move that you have your number 1, number 2 babyface, whatever he happens to be, wherever you rank him, who doesn't typically talk, come out and cut a promo talking about how he always delivers, how he's always here, how he defends his title every week, sometimes twice a week.
He's hurt, he's tired, and he works with fucking children.
Exactly. And then they do that as the go home, like, let's pop this crowd promo. It's a really interesting move because we haven't seen them let or ask Orange Cassidy to really do that. No. And I think if you're seeing, I think it's a bit of a fishing expedition, if you will. I think you're looking to see the crowd reaction to see how much more Orange Cassidy can shoulder.
It was weird because you did hear like booze.
Did you?
Go back and listen.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Okay.
I watched it again after it finished last night, and I'm going, why are people booing?
Yeah, very weird.
Like, you could hear it. It's just,
And
it was weird.
I don't want to say it was out of character, but it's out of the way they use him.
And that's why I liked it so much.
Me too. And and obviously he's a favorite of ours, so we're gonna be a little biased. Yeah. But I thought it was a good promo. I thought the ending was really funny. I'm Freckles Orange Cassidy, and I don't have a catchphrase.
I love Mox coming out at the end and getting in his face, and Taz selling it like, "Oh boy, OC, you might have just woke up a devil that you don't know how to handle."
And I don't know where they're going with this pay-per-view. I think there's 2 matches that could be the main event that are announced right now.
I think this should be the main event.
I think this should be the main event because it's going to be the only singles, or the big, not the only, but the biggest singles belt that's on the line is this one.
Yep.
I think they'll pull the trigger on Kenny Takeshita because of the star power of Kenny.
Unless you do something on Collision with Punk.
Right.
If not,
logic
this should
says top title defended on the show is the top ticket.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens. But it is an interesting thing, and I think it is a little bit of an expedition, a little bit of a information builder to see if the crowds will accept it and if Orange Cassidy can shoulder even more of a load from AEW.
Absolutely.
Because, listen, this is an incredible run, and I know in that promo he says he's always going to beat the champion. My opinion on who wins that match has changed. I thought that Mox was the only guy that had the ability to beat him and not get booed out of a building. But now I think OC wins.
You know what, though? Even when Moxley came out last night, like, not that he was intentionally, but he was very babyface.
Right.
Playing to the crowd a lot, and it's just, I don't know, it was weird.
I think Moxley loses. I think OC retains. I think you find somebody else to beat OC that needs a belt that'll get elevated by beating OC.
Swerve Strickland.
Swerve is a great fucking choice. Takeshita is a great choice. And then I think from there, if wrestling logic stands true, like I know it to be, when you lost that Intercontinental title, that put you in line for the world title.
It does, but I don't know how long this MJF Cole thing's going to go.
I don't know. Because
I feel like this can go a while.
Right. But I think that's another reason why I think OC wins. And then in a month to whatever, when you're ready for him to lose it, then I think you have to try him out in the main event picture.
Yeah. I agree.
See what he can carry. Because
I'd love for him to have the world title.
And even on top of everything else that's going on with Punk and the Bucks and all that, CM Punk is an old man in wrestling standards, right? He can, despite drama or whatever, walk away at any time.
He could. He
can get hurt again. He can decide that he's done. His career, whatever. Yeah. His bump card can get full. And, I think realistically, Punk's he's not going to sign an extension, right? I'm not even saying because of the drama. I'm just saying because of the wear and tear of his body and his age. I don't know that he's going to be a guy that wants to be wrestling on TNT into his 50s, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
And I would imagine the same goes for the Young Bucks.
Well, they said this is their last contract.
Right. This is their last contract. FTR has said this is their last contract. And maybe you'll get another year or two smaller extensions out of these guys.
Sure.
But
it's wrestling and money's nice.
Right. Start finding who and prepping these guys to fill those shoes. Because AEW, Tony Khan proved to himself that the pillars that he named ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Darby could.
Darby can.
Jungle Jack ain't.
MJF can.
MJF can. Sammy can.
MJF's doing it.
Right. MJF's doing it. Darby can. Sammy and Jungle Boy can't.
Yeah.
So, but who else? And even if they could, that's still not enough.
I still I don't know. I still feel like you can repair Sammy.
Yeah. I think you can repair Sammy.
You can.
I think I think you have one more really good chance of doing
that's it.
And if it doesn't stick,
I hope Jericho's not the one to be like, I can do it.
Right.
It's worked out so well.
Right. But it's interesting, and I think OC has proved a lot of people wrong, like he says in this promo. He's proved a lot of people right. The people that supported him and knew what he could do. So I think you have to get some, I think Swerve is raising his stocks. I think that if they finally decide to do something with Starks and follow through with it, you have him up there. I think there's some people that are in a good position. You just have to do it, and you have to say and realize, we have these guys now, but we're not going to have these guys forever.
That's fact.
And a lot of people talking even about Punk on Collision is it's been 6-8 weeks or whatever, and he's wrestled everybody. He hasn't wrestled everybody, but he's wrestled everybody on the top.
You can get programs, though.
You can. You gotta think as far as guys on top and title holders, you should be thinking 2-3 years ahead.
You should.
And like Orange Cassidy's not a young guy. He's been doing this for a long time.
Eddie's also not a
young guy. So if you're going to do it with these guys, and I think if something happens and you need, with Phil, at least initially if he's gone, I think it'll take 2 guys to fill his shoes. And I think you have those 2 guys in Orange Cassidy and Eddie Kingston, but you have to figure it out now. You can't figure it out the day after CM Punk walks. You have to have it figured out now in case.
Yeah. I know one of the guys that they were positioned was like Hangman, but he just seems like an afterthought at this point.
Right. Yes.
You know?
And I think, is it because of all the drama? Is it because they see something in him and realize he's reached his ceiling?
You know, he already had the title run.
Right, he already had the title run.
He could get another one
Absolutely.
eventually. But like he does seem just very in the background at this point.
I think the Dark Order stuff harmed him more than anything.
It did.
Because
he came off looking like a dick.
Right. And he didn't elevate them.
No.
They drug him down a little bit. It's just what it is. It's not that they're on the bottom, but this was a guy who was a champion who the Dark Order stuff pulled him into the mid card, and I don't know that I don't know that he fought the Dark Order differently and didn't get lifted out of the mid card. So I think Hangman was in the main event, got dropped down to the mid card with Dark Order stuff, and came out of it slightly below the main event. And needs to fight his way back up because he does seem like a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah, he definitely is. So, all right, All Out's on Sunday.
Sure is.
We'll be watching.
We will.
It'll be a good time.
I think it's gonna be a good card. I
hope.
I watch wrestling. Like I like storyline and stuff, but like if you're gonna give me good wrestling, I'm not gonna be mad about it.
I hope Soon to Be Named Network North is bumping.
Yeah,
I hope it's
hopping. Sure will be.
I hope people are here.
Yeah,
let's have a party.
I don't know about that.
Let's have a party.
I mean, I'm probably gonna get pizzas.
Okay. I love pizzas.
Yeah, the joint down the street has her hot Hawaiian this week.
I saw, brother.
Yeah, so there's gonna be at least one hot Hawaiian here this week, and also some pizza. Jason Momoa's coming over. Anyway, you see him moshing at Metallica?
You call that moshing?
Well, circle pitting, whatever. It's better than I can do, brother.
Mosher.
Nobody's spin kicking at a Metallica show.
You weren't there at Lincoln Financial Field in 2016, were you?
Let's not.
Biatch. All right, let's take a trip.
Oh, where are we going?
Japan.
Ooh. Hey, look at us.
We're not in Japan, we're in England. Fucking swerve your way, and I swerve when I drive.
The worst part about it is that we got to England and nobody's at the airport to pick me up.
Wow. You had to do that. You talk about people needling Phil? You're needling Phil.
I am.
You're not allowed to needle my boy.
I'm going to needle Phil.
That sounds like an assault.
Well,
so
I'm going to needle Phil harder than that doctor he thought he punched that one time.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that story?
I love that story.
That has been long since said to be bullshit, but whatever.
God bless you, Phil.
Yep.
You messy man. I love you so much.
Yeah. I'm going to needle him harder than he denies needling himself.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
That means that Phil's on drugs.
How dare you? How dare you? As part of the Straight Edge Council, I know that he's not.
Oh, you're on the council when that happened?
I've been anointed, brother.
All right.
No, I haven't hit my... How long have I been straight edge?
Statute of limitations up on all that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, oh my God, I've been straight edge for 13 years already. Holy shit.
13, that's it?
2010.
Yeah?
That's I stopped everything in like 2008, 2009-ish, but I didn't call myself straight edge till May of 2010.
Okay. Nobody do the math on that because that'll reveal...
I did a lot of shit when I was underage, man. All right? I got all my shit out of my system before I turned 21.
Look, I didn't facilitate any of that.
Yeah, you weren't feeding me.
Nope.
You weren't feeding me beers at the Willow Tree.
Wasn't me.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know what the Willow Tree is.
It wasn't me. You're my Shaggy. So we're in England. Rev Pro had their 11th anniversary show. So I watched 3 matches from this. You watched
I did.
match. Are you gonna kill this fly?
Try.
Get it right now.
Nope.
Fucker. All right. So I watched 3 matches.
Yes.
First one I watched was Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ricky Knight Jr.
Okay.
Ricky Knight Jr. is Soraya's nephew.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
I wanted to see this because I wanted to see Zack in England.
Yeah.
And he's a god.
Sure.
And he comes out and it's just like a party and Zack wins. He like, I don't know, one of his weird fucking long name finishers was like, I think orienteering with Napalm Death. That's what that was his finisher.
Sure.
And it makes Ricky Knight Jr. tap out.
Oh, that's good.
Ricky Knight Jr.
Was it for the TV title?
No.
Okay.
Nope, just a good old wrestling match.
All right.
Also, Tomohiro Ishii
Yes.
versus Luke Jacobs.
So this was the match that caught my attention. This is what everyone was talking about. This is why I got it. And, I don't know if you watched it through the link I sent you or through archive or whatever.
So I did watch it through the link.
Yeah.
Was your quality like kind of shitty?
It was.
And like the audio would like bump okay.
Right. And that's why. So I ended up watching it through archive because I was like, wow, this quality on this download is real bad.
When I checked, it wasn't on archive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then I watched it through archive and it was the same. So it's just shitty quality.
So just a shitty live stream.
And it's why I didn't watch more of it because I wasn't in the mood to sit at my computer, so I screen mirrored to my TV.
I do the same.
And I was like, this quality is rough.
It was bad.
So I was like, I'm going to watch other things that I know are going to look better after this Ishii match, and then if I want to, I'll go back, and I didn't. I went to the bed. But this match, everyone was talking about it. This jumped up into all of my feeds. People say a match of the year. It's like a 9.5 on Cage Match. Like people like this is a dream match. This is one of the best matches anybody's ever seen. It's definitely going to be a match of the year contender. All this. And I watched this match. And like, it's good. Mm-hmm. But Ishii's had so much better with other people, even recently.
Yeah.
And like they're saying like this Luke Jacobs that this is his dream match. They're like he's wanted to wrestle Tomohiro Ishii since he was 16, and I looked it up and that was 2015. So like
that's fair.
He's a young guy, but like this was Ishii versus not as good British Ishii.
Yeah.
Like clearly this dude loves Ishii because his entire ring presence and things that he does in the ring are just lifted from Ishii.
Yeah.
And I like when Ishii has hoss fights, and like that should have worked here.
And it didn't.
It doesn't. And Ishii works best for me. Like, I love everything he does.
Sure.
But like we all know, we've talked about it on the show, and my favorite Ishii match is Ishii Zack Sabre because the styles are so different.
And it just worked.
And it works, right? And like Ishii, Eddie Kingston, strong style, like beating the shit out of their match.
Ishii Shingo.
But they're not the same person.
Yeah.
And this Luke Jacobs kid, who was fine, was very much just aping Ishii to me. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I said, maybe if I followed Rev Pro more, I would get this kid a little better.
Yeah.
But like, I did not love this. Especially people saying it was like match of the year.
I didn't get that.
I think it was just a perfectly fine, strong style match, beat 'em up kind of thing. Like there's hard hitting stuff in it. A lot of the moves look really cool, but like this isn't even gonna sniff my match of the year.
No, not at all.
Like if I'm forced to like put an Ishii match on my match of the year, like his stuff against Eddie,
Ishii Eddie,
even Ishii Jericho is better than Ishii Jericho is really good, but like better than this. Very confusing to me. As someone who loves Ishii, like even I should even be like jocking it up a little bit more because I love Ishii so much. Doesn't really work that way.
No,
not great. Just fine, good.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I thought the same. I thought, okay, this is good. I don't get why people are hyping it as much as they are. Though.
Weird. Yeah, don't get it. Very weird.
I will say. On the same show, I did watch the main event of Will Ospreay versus Shingo Takagi.
And I did see some people say that that's much better.
Oof.
Yeah.
Boy, that a barn burner. Yeah. Will Ospreay makes his entrance, and you would have thought God walked through that entrance. Dude, that crowd was like ballistic for him.
That's cool.
And yeah, the match rocked.
Yeah.
at the end, after the match, that's where Jericho runs out in the Bushi mask and beats up Ospreay, gives him the Judas effect,
I forgot that
pops the
even
mask off. You know, crowd's going nuts.
Yeah.
I would say Ospreay Shingo was a lot better than Ishii and Luke Jacobs.
Wait, so this happened?
This was the night before All In.
Wow. So both of them went from the UK to Japan like overnight, basically.
How?
You said it was the night before All In.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the one in? Oh, they were in the UK. I'm so stupid.
I was like, what the fuck?
I'm sorry. I'm
it's all right, bro.
so tired. You're right.
It's okay. All right.
Yeah. So this was the night before. Okay. I get it.
Did you watch any other Japanese stuff?
I did. I watched Tokyo Joshi Pro from the Chu Summer Party Tides match.
Are you mad at me that I said to watch
No,
this?
it's so much fun.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I'm good, because I thought you were going to be like, why are you telling me to watch this?
No. You told me to watch it because you know that I'm a goofball.
Yeah. It's felt like a good palate cleanser
it's
from,
really silly
from
and stupid.
everything else we've seen and had to fucking read this
I
week.
would not recommend this to many other people.
Absolutely not.
Because it is...
Ed would like this, I think.
Yeah. I think Ed could probably add this to his panel in some weird way.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of just a squirt gun fight.
It's kind of like a end of summer hurrah.
Yeah, and then watermelons get crushed and water balloons get thrown at people.
Dude.
And I did catch
Palm eats that watermelon or that fucking water balloon to the face hard.
And Demonia Doe or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I kind of caught the end of the match before this too.
Rika Tatsumi.
Yeah, versus a person that looked like Freddy Krueger, I guess. I don't know. So that person gets involved here when they couldn't start the car, which was really funny in that first match.
At one point, they're like outside of this building that kind of looked like a loading dock,
right?
And they're getting their sprinklers or whatever.
Yeah,
like so
super weird. There's like the lady wrestlers are selling the water being poured on them in very inappropriate ways, dare I say, for this crowd. Reminded me a lot of the produce show that DDT did literally in the middle of a produce market.
Yes.
I think it is a much different and unique cultural sense of humor. But I like goofy shit.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny. I liked when Mizuki was on the top rope and they literally stop her by just throwing water balloons at her and she can't take it anymore, so she gets down. And there's also a bump onto kaiju action figures. There was a giant Gamera.
There sure was.
And I was like, I want that Gamera figure, Gamera. I'm like, I want that figure. Gamera fucking rules.
Yeah.
So that was also really cool. It's just fun shit.
That's like, I saw it recommended on Cage Match, and I'm going, all right, this sounds silly. Let's give it a watch. And I was so happy that I did.
Yeah.
Again, it just felt like such a palate cleanser from everything this week.
Yes, lots of fun, I felt.
You didn't watch anything else in Japan, correct?
I watched the finals of All Japan, the Kojima, but it's nothing to talk about, man. Good for Koji for winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's just not. The match was fine at best. Yeah. The dude bumps too early on the finishing lariat and makes it look like dog shit. So
thankfully, Pro Wrestling Noah's N1 come to an end.
Yes.
There was 3 matches I did watch for the final show because the B block match I watched was Go Shiozaki versus Katsuhiko Nakajima. It rocked, and it set up a tiebreaker match for Go Manabu Soya.
Yeah.
The winner of A block, there was Keno versus Jake Lee. Keno won.
Okay.
The match was very good.
Yeah.
Probably
didn't go to a draw this time.
No, probably the best match of the tournament from what I saw anyway.
Yeah.
And then Go beats Soya for the decision. So finals are going to be Keno versus Go Shiozaki.
Right.
We did the N1 bracket.
Yes.
I won that shit.
Yep.
I win nothing. I win knowing the fact that Noah's booking makes 0 sense.
Right.
And if you're ever going to fill out a bracket for anything they do, remember that.
Right. And Ed does not get a spot on this show.
No, he doesn't.
So,
Ed, come up with something else.
Yep.
Listen, Ed, you win. I said you can do whatever you want.
Right. There's a gambling man at this table. If you want to keep throwing stuff out there, he'll gamble with you.
Listen, Ed, I'm
Let's
trying.
See what happens.
I'm trying.
Absolutely.
But you got to win.
Yeah. And also, Ed, I'm sorry that we never got to review episode 2 or episode 3 of Hayabusa on the show kept getting bumped for time, and I know there is a new episode out.
Brother, is there ever?
And also that sadly, at least this week, Ed, is getting bumped for time. Maybe we'll review it next week.
Listen, all I gotta say is my Doug is my doctor. I have a second primary care physician, Dr. Rudolph Lozani, the one-stop doc, or whatever the fuck it was. The Straight Talk doc. My apologies to Rudolph Lozani, who at one point listens to Tool in his earphones while giving Ed a Brazilian butt lift.
Sure. I haven't listened yet.
Oh my God!
It's on the list. I just like I said, I was getting through Terry Funk stuff. So
Hayabusa is not a podcast; it is an experience.
Yes, that's for damn sure.
I know it says a wrestling adjacent.
You know what? Ed is barely a person. Ed is an experience.
Ed's an experience.
Yeah,
the Ed Cody experience.
That's right.
Ed started a band, and called it the Ed Cody Experience.
Yes.
That's really it.
Ed, congratulations on alienating everyone you work with so nobody talks to you during the day now.
Should have got Taco Bell for that.
It's true.
Stardom's tournament's still ongoing. I'm a little
I almost watched the Natsupoi main event the other night, but none of it.
I did watch Micah versus Hayashishita from Night 11, which was very good. Micah beat Hayashishita. But their shows are weird. Like I know they have a show coming up. There's a couple tournament matches, but then shit that's non-tournament.
Sure.
I get so confused.
Yeah.
I'm still, I'm trying. I'm fighting the good fight, brother.
I looked, there's not a ton of New Japan coming up.
No, because they have a lot of the Destruction Tour, which we forgot to bring up. Speaking of that, Tony Khan announced October 1st as Dreamwave.
No, Wrestle Dream?
Wrestle Dream.
Yes.
Dreamwave was something else. That might have been another show. There was a promotion called Dreamwave.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Wrestle Dream.
Yes.
Which then, I know Meltzer said this morning, there's a New Japan show that day.
Yes.
It's just a Road 2 show, but it's at Korakuen. And I sent the card in the Discord, and pretty much every main guy's on it.
Yeah.
So, because it's supposed to be a celebration of Antonio Inoki. And Tony Khan keeps saying, I'd like some top New Japan talent on it. Well, Okada's working the card. Tanahashi's working the card. Right. The only one who's not is Ospreay.
Yeah.
But
and he's framing it as a tribute to Antonio Inoki. So
and I know he says I want he wants New Japan and Stardom on it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But just very
weird.
Hey, maybe we should have
cleared this first before I had verbal diarrhea at a press conference.
Can New Japan kind of cancel that show if they want?
They can change stuff around, sure.
It's just a Road 2 show.
Yeah.
So they can.
Right, they can change stuff around.
But
you could also, I'm sure there's some people you can get over that aren't on the show, and maybe not giant stars, but maybe Tony Khan can convince not to wrestle, but maybe you fly Fujinami over to make an appearance. Maybe you do stuff like that. Maybe you talk to some people who are out there that have wrestled Inoki and
Fujinami and Chono and Muda.
Right.
Who knows?
But yeah, and it's going to be a pay-per-view, which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know about that there, TK. You're saturating the market a little bit.
Yeah, October 1st.
If you're going to, again, people are already complaining about your pay-per-views, and then you're going to have a Japanese crossover with the Antonio Inoki tribute show that doesn't have the top stars on it. Yeah. That's going to ring a little hollow.
It's going to be weird.
Yes.
I'm curious to see how they're going to maneuver it.
Right.
But that's also,
yes.
Since it's almost midnight now, real-time recording, that's going to be a month away.
Yeah. Weird.
So we'll see how it works.
Very weird.
That's all I have.
Yeah, me too. I'm tapped.
What are your favorite domestic and favorite international match?
Shit.
And we'll say if it's something from All In, count it as your domestic.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, I'll go international, and because I didn't watch that much, I'm going to go with the True Summer Party Tides deathmatch.
That makes me happy.
Whatever that happens to be. It's just fun. Whatever. Yeah. Oh man, what's my favorite domestic? Definitely. I'm trying to think of that dude from NWA, but I can't remember his name now.
Tyrus.
No, the dude in the tag match with the weird whatever flowers.
Daisy Kill.
Daisy Kill. There you go. No.
God.
What was my favorite match domestically? I will say that the Stadium Stampede will remain my favorite match of the week in American promotions.
So mine is going to be MJF Adam Cole.
Right.
I just love that I didn't know where it was going, and that made me real happy. And then international, I'm going to go with Keno and Jake Lee.
Ooh,
Because
wow.
Keno fucking rules.
Yes,
and,
Keno does rule.
For them to make me care about the N1 at the last 3 matches of the tournament.
It's really squeaking it in there.
You did something nice.
Yeah,
So,
good.
Did you buy anything?
Did I buy anything? I did, much to your chagrin.
You could tell the story.
We went out for wing night this week, which was a ton of fun.
Dude.
And I was sitting at a table.
I need more wings.
It was awesome. And sitting at a dive bar, smoky dive bar, eating chicken wings feels like old times.
Yeah, that I could walk across the street to.
I saw it. Somebody posted in the Discord, but I saw it right before that the Weekly Pro Wrestling, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Weekly Pro Wrestling
magazine in Japan is Terry Funk issue on the cover, tons of stuff inside. It was on eBay, and so the funny thing about it is when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I know Brett's bought these off of eBay. Like somebody puts them up."
Yep.
And so I know they're there. So we were just sitting there. It was like $20 shipped, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna buy it. $18 shipped. I'm gonna buy it." I bought it because I need to have it. And then I like showed it to you, and I could just tell in the look on your face that something was up.
I know you thought I was gonna be pumped, and I just looked at you, and you're going, "What?
Yeah.
Why are you mad?"
Right. And so you had already bought it earlier that day.
Yep.
So
gonna buy it and give it to you for your birthday.
right.
Now that just means I have a copy
Yes,
of it
now
as
you
well.
have a copy. But so thank you. But yeah, that wasn't that was something I saw and I needed, so I grabbed it. But yeah, so that I think that was it. Our Ultimate Dragons came in
Oh, they're so nice.
from like a year ago.
Yeah. My other thing was Adam, that motherfucker, talked me into buying the Alex Show figure. And I'm very happy that
It's a great figure.
So
it's a really
nice.
good figure. Yeah, for sure.
So I was very happy about that. Thank you, Adam. And that's all I had.
Yeah, I think that's it, right? I got nothing else
No.
really going on. Yeah, so we got your birthday's next week.
Sure is, pal.
Right, Tuesday.
Okay. I'll be an old man.
Well, it's not how old you are, it's how old you feel.
No.
I'm excited to hand you over your gift and or gifts
You son of a bitch.
for your birthday, which that means mine is 3 weeks away.
It's in my car as I say as we speak.
Oh, all right. We'll go to the bathroom. I'll run out real quick. It's gonna be interesting. We'll see. Because I did. I did buy and get the New Japan Strong titles from Turnquist Big Belts,
dude. Gorgeous.
which was supposed to be for your birthday.
I'm so happy,
So
dude.
I had I'll just tell you this. Because I had stacked sort of a couple things for your birthday.
Oh, you son
from
of a
Shell
bitch.
and I, and then I found something else that
God damn it.
because we have like a price limit in mind. We don't want to spend forever on
each other. Yes.
But we kind of know what we do because you buy from Shell and I, we both buy for you, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
And so I had a couple things in mind, and that belt was going to be one of them. But then when we went on vacation, you came over and watched the cats. So I figured that came in. Turnquist hooked me up real good because he's a good dude and he loves Eddie. So we both got New Japan Strong belts. So that was originally going to be for your birthday, and it's not.
It's so killer.
But I found something else for your birthday that is the limit. Like overall, so we'll see if I pull one of the things that I have for you that was supposed to be with the belt. Can that become a Christmas present?
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Or do I just shower you in riches for your birthday, unapologetically?
You could shower me, just don't bathe me.
That's a callback, brother. But we'll see. But that belt looks awesome on Eddie. You know what it makes me want when I look at it on my desk? A shirt for him. Because when he comes down to the ring, sort of make it look like an entrance Eddie a little bit. Yeah. But the belts are a really great job. Shout out to Turnquist belts.
He killed it, man.
So that's cool. And I know he made the Texas Chainsaw Massacre belt. So yeah. So we'll see. If there was a good Jeff Jarrett,
dude, if there was a Jarrett,
if there was a today AEW Jeff Jarrett, that I'd be buying rounds of them for everybody. But yeah, I guess that's it. Right, that's all we bought.
That's it.
So we'll get out of here. We'll get out of everybody's hair. This has been We Need Wrestling. Thanks for listening. Well, you can find us online at WeNeedWrestling.com. You can email the show at WeNeedWrestling@gmail.com. You can find us online at We Need Wrestling on social medias. You can find us. We have a YouTube channel. Just search We Need Wrestling, where I'm uploading everything every week, usually the day after because it takes a while. And then I'm clipping out the Terry Funk tribute from last week, and then maybe figure out a way if I could put up the Terry Funk moment of the weeks every week there.
Yeah,
just even just as a playlist, so you guys can find it easier. You can check that out on our channel. I don't know how you go. Just search YouTube. I think it might be youtube.com/WeNeedWrestling, and it might not be. I don't fucking know. But we're members of Soon to Be Named Network at STBN Network on Twitter, soon to be named network.com, soon to be named network.tumblr.com. Tons of shows on there. We talk about them as we do this show. Hayabusa, At Odds with Wrestling, Longbox Heroes After Dark, Profane Argument, Puzzle Warriors 3, our other show, Wings on Wings.
Final Wrestling Place episode this week.
I listened to that.
Them breaking down the Hogan lies was
the top
incredible.
20, or was it 25?
It was 25.
Top 25 lies of Bad Terry. Interrupted my Terry Funk tribute listening because I had to listen to it. Gentlemen,
that may be like your magnum opus.
I think so. I think that is excellent. That was an excellent piece of business you guys covered.
I texted Doug and I was like, you should check this out. And he texted me back. He's like, he said he loved every time Marcus was giggling at Terry's lies.
What amazing lies. And not even a tip of the lie iceberg, really.
No.
But some of the better ones, some of the best ones that Bad Terry's ever told.
So much fun.
And a really, really fun episode. And fun beginning. They talk about Bray and Terry, Terry Funk, good Terry.
Good.
Really well done.
Yeah.
But that top 25 list and ranking them based on basically what's provable and what's unprovable. Really remarkable stuff from everyone all around.
Yeah.
So and shout out to Tim for suffering for everyone for listening to the fucking Joe Rogan interview, the 3 hours of the Hogan thing.
You're a fucking trooper, brother.
What a lying piece of garbage Bad Terry is.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, so give that a listen. That's the Final Wrestling Place at TNM Shows.
TNM Sports.
We were also on another podcast this week. If you want to hear the very specific podcast of us drafting our fantasy football teams, give that a listen, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know how good of a podcast that actually makes, but
we just said a bunch of names.
Right. I think we were trying to be funny. We were trying to be entertaining at best. Yeah. I guess.
I need to go back and listen because I listened to After Dark this week. Yeah. And I guess Todd made like a wrestling reference or a wrestling joke.
He did.
And then Joe said like everybody no-sold it.
Well.
And Joe's like, when he said the reference, Joe laughed, but then everybody no-sold it and made him laugh even more. I need to go back and listen like, what the fuck was it? Because I don't remember. Mm-hmm. Todd, what a fucking guy.
What a guy.
I love that guy.
Well, he'll never listen to a podcast, so we can say that about him. We can heap praise upon him.
That's true.
Because he'll never hear it.
Todd and I, we had a good talk. Yeah. It was fun.
Todd's your blue cheese dealer.
My brother in blue cheese.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
So, the Blues Cheese Brothers.
Oh, yes.
But I guess that's it, right?
Well, if that's it, I'm going to leave you with this.
Okay.
I will tell you something about Dusty Rhodes. I'd like to whip on him, but he's the son of a carpenter. But what I can do is whip on the son of a carpenter. Terry fucking Funk, Slamboree 94.
Bye, everybody.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.
Knock it off, nerds!